Blake's face. I'm trying to it wasn't a deer in headlights, but it was a face. It was you know what it was? It was like second grade posing for your school photo. I think you were sitting there waiting for the camera light to flash as I just sat there waving. Hello, everybody, broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere east of the Mississippi. My name is Brian Engelman. This guy is Blake Walley. Today is Tuesday, December 31, 2024. That's New Year's Eve, if you're counting. Thank you for joining us here on the Agree to Disagree show. By the way, if you're not having interesting conversations with your friends, what are you even doing? And if you hit a wall and you're like, oh, this is going to, like, we're going to start arguing or yelling with each other, at each other, and we're going to potentially threaten to ruin our partnership, our relationship, our camaraderie, you just look at them and go, let's agree to disagree on this topic. Let's change gears, and we don't need to revisit this topic again this evening. Can we shake on that? That's the point of this show. We can talk about anything, and the point is we're trying to not manipulate you. We're not going to lie to you. We're not going to bring you anything that we intentionally know to be destructive or false. The Soros DA story, as people are unpacking all the elections and what's about to change and what the country has rejected. That's kind of the title of this show. DEI rejected, MAGA approved. The country has chosen a path away from the Obama doctrine of divisiveness and more toward what is going to make this country succeed at a stronger rate. We've seen failures, epic failures, from district attorneys to keep their people safe. God, the subway crime, people getting gunned down in Minneapolis or whatever suburb that was. Just there is a fog that has rolled through the country, and we have about 3 weeks or so on the 20th when President Trump takes over and changes. So like we're all just kind of waiting for things to get going. But the difference between where we are now and where we can be in a month from now is astonishing. If you can imagine December, the end of January, 1 month from today, and Trump has now had 1 week to do a sweeping halt to so much nonsense. Just let's put ourselves in a positive perspective. We can take the black pill, or we could stay positive. I'm going to choose to stay positive today on the show. So thank you for joining us. The topics we are going to talk about today are going to be, is this the year 2024 that mainstream, that the lying legacy media lost all of their credibility, whatever was remaining? Do you agree or disagree? Agree or disagree that Americans need millions of bird flu vaccines ASAP? Oh, let's get the, where's that thing we need to put up at the bottom of the screen? Let's get that ticker going, because for countervailing views, and because here we are, we're in censorship season. As soon as we start saying anything Fauci disagrees with, they're going to try to eliminate our shows off of YouTube and off of Instagram and Facebook. So follow the New American Media on Rumble. The New American Media is our account. On X at American_media_. Oh, Blake, look here. This is that awesome thing that you made. I got to switch between these designs, but this is really cool. Here's where you follow us, please. That's a really good one. How do we put that onto A2D? I like that one a lot. I want to keep that. But yeah, follow us on Rumble and on X at American_media_, because as soon as we have weird fog rolling into weird places and projections that, hey, another flu is going to come, they're going to try this again, is the fear that we're going through. So the countervailing views, go to all of the places, who.int, and they can give you all of their opinions. It's at the bottom of the screen, cisa.gov/rumor control, anything you want. Here's all your bullshit that with a gun pointed to our heads, we have to tell you about these things, or else they're going to delete our stuff. But they're going to delete our stuff anyway. So I'm sort of over it. Thanks for finding us on the New American Media. Make sure you're following this guy, Blake. He's on X at TV's BLAKE. WALLEY at TV's Blake Walley, and on his archived page of so many good things, thenextlevelnews.com. Yes, Blake, any other place you want people to check out your stuff? YouTube channel, anything else you want to tell people to follow?
I think that's the best. I don't, sure there's Facebook, but no, it's different. It's a little more personal. So yeah, I think X and the website, of course, are the most obvious.
All right, perfect. Then we
What
will.
about you, Brian? Do you like people to find you on Facebook, or would you rather have them on Twitter? Facebook's more personal. It's like where my friends, my family, my coworkers.
Yeah.
Even though I get a lot more engagement there, and it's nice to meet everybody. But
it's
more business.
It's tricky. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. And I will apologize to anybody who sent me a friend request and I haven't accepted you. I don't really even know how to describe who becomes a Facebook friend and who doesn't. Although recently I've found interesting content across the interweb. And then as those daily stories show up, it's like the same images from the same weird bot farms that are running these fake accounts. And I'm like, who the hell? I've been unfollowing all these weird ones. God, it's like they're all managed by the same bullshit spam accounts and they send the same garbage out. I'm like, this has nothing to do with the adventurer Joe Robinette who builds off-grid housing structures and hunts and does survival techniques. It's showing some grandmother in a tank top, like in a wet t-shirt contest. I'm like, this AI image has nothing to do with the content I followed this page to follow. What the fuck are you doing? Like I've sent these messages. I am unfollowing you. So I don't know who's running these accounts, or they're just spoofing to be their official accounts, or they are their official accounts and they've been hacked, or they are their official accounts and they do offshoot it to a management company that sends this click engagement stuff because they know it drives the algorithms and creates them more revenue.
All right, Brian, I think we're getting off topic here. In fact, I don't even know if we got through all the topics of the show.
No, we didn't. But anyway, well, this was because you asked me a question.
You went off on another rails. All right, let's.
To be fair, that was because you asked, "What about you? Any other sites you would like? You would like them to follow you on?" So, just real quick, apologies to anyone. I haven't followed back on Facebook. Not so much to people I don't know because whatever, but like there are some people I do know, and I'm just like, I don't have more room in my life for people. Like I am juggling too many things as it is. And I barely knew you in real life. And I don't know. I'm trying to keep it condensed a little bit. So apologies to those people, but yeah, I do like engaging with people. I think Ken is it's just different people on X, different people on Facebook, different people in this group, that group, Telegram chats, TNAM and TNAM chat. Okay. The other topics we're going to talk about today. Yeah, the bird flu. So we'll talk about that. And where was it? Where did it come from? Is this from a wet market? We'll talk about it. Also, agree, disagree that employers should not be allowed to overuse H-1B visas. Yes, that was the big MAGA civil war a couple days ago. We'll try to unpack what we think we figured out about it. Also, American culture has ruined American exceptionalism. What the? Mike Johnson, what about him? Does he deserve another role as House Speaker? Ooh, open AI whistleblower. That was ruled, so he died. And they ruled it a suicide, but was it actually a murder? And if so, who's behind it? That's where it starts to get kind of super interesting. And of course, the mysterious fog is the beginning of a chemical attack. All these topics and more will be on today's episode of the Agree to Disagree. Hello, Kenneth. Show! Blake Walley, how was Christmas, sir?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty quiet. I've been kind of in this, I don't know, just overwhelmed by just too much football, but I'm getting caught up on everything. So it's nice, little unwinding at the end of the year. to get myself organized and ready for next year. So all good. How about you, Brian?
Overwhelmed with too much football. What a great problem to have, Mr. Walley. If you see my background, that's the Ohio State University field. This is the shirt I will be wearing. Why won't it show? I need better green
screen stuff.
I know. I got to fix my green screen. I'll be wearing this shirt tomorrow. That's New Year's Day, when the Ohio State Buckeyes will be in the second round of the first ever college football playoffs. And I am super excited. You're super excited about your Minnesota football Vikings. Holy crap, dude. You guys just keep winning. You're saying there's too much football in your life. You have a great amount of football in your life. So do I. College, you have pros. How excited are you?
That's both for me, because I do.
100. What likelihood do you think your Vikings have a chance to win the Super Bowl this year?
Oh man, it's tough. I don't even want to speculate on that stuff. I mean, there's at least 6 really good football teams that could easily win it all. So, I'm it's exceeded my expectations. I was thinking 5-10 win season, that'd be fine. Somewhere in there, maybe make a one of the wild cards. But this has been an unexpected surprise. I'm happy for it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frankie. And that's it. I'm just going to roll with it. We got a really tough game in Detroit, and it's extremely high stakes because of the seeding. 2 14-win teams, and one's going to get the 1 seed and one's going to get the 5 seed. That's tough.
So you're saying they're going to go 1 to 5.
Just won't leave me alone. I can't handle it. Right. It's my inbox just flooded with women wanting to write. I don't know. No. Anyway.
So you're saying, yes. Thank you, Frankie. Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you, everybody. Kenneth is saying he's going to win the doable. He's going to win the doable, smokable. Look, the Buckeyes against Oregon in the Rose Bowl. I have a very unique story about that. I lived in Los Angeles at the time, and I had a friend who ended up with tickets, and at the last moment offered me. He said, "Hey, would you like to go to the Rose Bowl game this year? I got free tickets." I go, Are you kidding me? I said, yes. This was the Ohio State Buckeyes, the Jim Tressel and Terrell Pryor Buckeyes, playing the Oregon Ducks in Pasadena in my backyard for the Rose Bowl. We got the win. Of course, some NCAA violations for tattoo. You traded merchandise for some tattoos. They suspended the program. Ohio State got absolutely screwed on that one. So stupid. But that was the end of the Jim Tressel era, and I got to go to that one. So this is a redo of Ohio State playing Oregon in Pasadena in the Rose Bowl, except this time it's for the first ever college football playoffs. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah, this week after Christmas, in between New Year's, it's been widely written about as one of the strangest times of the year. It's been explained many different ways. Just someone said it's airplane rules. Does it feel, everybody, by the way, please hit like, please hit subscribe, please put your comments in so we can try to incorporate your comments in to the program. But Blake, we're saying this time of year between the point I was making is that I was at the Rose Bowl with Ohio State playing Oregon, and now tomorrow it's Ohio State in the Rose Bowl playing Oregon, except this time it's for the college football championship. But what was I starting to ask you? Anyway, I was going somewhere with that. Where was I going with that?
Ohio State football, something.
Well, I started telling people to leave their comments, and I lost my train of thought. So, but Blake is back in. We lost Blake for a second there. But yeah, it's really great time to be around this time of year. The point that I was making is that between Christmas and New Year's, Blake, they say that this is kind of like airplane rules. You can drink at 8 a.m. You just, everyone's mad, everyone's testy around you. You don't know what time of day it is. Like you're trying to get somewhere and you're stuck somewhere and you have too much to do and you're just, everything's weird. And someone said, I don't know what day of the week it is. I don't know what time of day it is. I have nothing to do, and I'm full of cheese and bewildered. So I don't know. It's just one of those interesting times a year, I think. Is that fair to say? Like you said, you've had all this football overload, and you got a lot to do, but you're still kind of like, it's just.
It's been good. I've got an abundance of extra time, which allows me to kind of get sorted out and caught up on things. Plus, there's just tons of football between college and NFL, and putting them on different days because it's through the holidays. So it's just been like around the clock every day. I mean, it's kind of the end of the year was so much. Really between just the holiday season. All of a sudden there's games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The next thing, and not that I'm endorsing gambling, but since I lived in Vegas for a long time, that's kind of one of my guilty pleasures. So yeah, I do like to watch football. Although it's just been like overload, all the bowl games, extra bowl games, playoffs, extra week of the NFL, just crazy. But I'm here for it, and it's almost over. And it's going to be pretty much the last major week, and then we can kind of start getting back to the grind January, February. So I guess
back into the things. And I will say about your Vikings, man, like I would be happy if I would be pulling for a Vikings Super Bowl win. I'd be happy with a Lions Super Bowl win. I'd be happy with a Buffalo Bills Super Bowl win. I'd be happy with a Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl win. Are there any, because of Baker Mayfield, I still root for them a lot. Do you have any teams other than yours, but like your team's in it, so like everybody else that can go to hell at this stage, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, otherwise I would be objective towards underdogs and lean in that favor. But no, it's a little more complicated than that. And yes, I am going to be 100% Skull Nation Vikings, and we'll see. So I'm looking forward, and hopefully. We'll keep on winning. So there we go.
Magic of Sam Darnold. Kenneth is saying he once went bowling with a gal named Rose. Well played. Little wordplay from Kenneth. And Kenneth says he only gambles when he wears a swimsuit. Now that's a nice joke right there. All right, let's jump into the topics of the day. And we're going to get to the kind of the main topic of 2024 in review, sort of, and maybe the main thing being the year that the lying legacy media finally gave up the ghost and people realized they are trash. But something else is going on in this country, and they're all kind of connected. We'll talk about the bird flu. We're going to talk about the lab leak. But let's start with this mysterious fog, Blake, because we covered the story when one of the usual suspects was out there a week or two ago, saying that, oh, yeah, there's going to be another pandemic that starts on January 21st. Adjust his glasses. And now there's a mysterious fog rolling through, almost as if humanity is being fumigated right now. So let's lead with that one, and then we'll roll it into this bird flu vaccine and lab leak story here.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I guess the globalists and the eugenicists are planning to cull the herd a little bit. I don't know. We're still speculating on that. That's kind of a new phenomenon, new story. But I guess a lot of it's news stories because we haven't been on the air in about 12 days. And I've kind of been enjoying my time away, detoxing from all the digital twittering and such. So
we've earned it. We have earned the right to take a minute, like there's a lot of shit going on, and it gets overwhelming to just keep going on this stuff. And it's, a lot of it's not pleasant. So yeah.
I don't want to jump in I got to start firing off and choosing sides on the H1B fiasco or what have you, or, Laura Loomer. I mean, there was just, there was some drama, but I just stayed away. I like to lurk from a distance, but now that we're on the show, we'll jump back in to the epic shit show. So here we go. You sent me this one earlier, Brian. So does anyone else feel like they should be walking around wearing an effing gas mask? The fog has been here for about 5 days now. Yeah, which fog? Because I guess I'm hearing that it's in several areas, so it's not just one location. So all across America, Canada, and Europe, people are reporting never seen or experienced before some kind of bizarre, mysterious fog. Probably not a coincidence. It's all of a sudden happening everywhere. That I could agree with. I mean, one location, kind of like, was it Palestine, Ohio, when they got the train wreck? Sometimes these things happen, or maybe there's a chemical spill and they don't want to alarm the public, even though it probably makes it worse if people get sick. This I'm still digging into, so I don't know much about it, but this girl's got a very thick accent. I think she's from Australia, so let's roll this quick 1-minute clip and let her bring you up to speed, and we'll take it from there.
So does anybody else just feel like they should be walking around wearing a fucking gas mask? Like, what is happening in the UK at the minute with the weather? Because all this fog has been here for about 5 days now, and it is literally not budging. And I have never seen a fog like this, what stayed for longer than 5 days, will not dissipate whatsoever.
That's unusual. That's what it's. This is London. This is England, which rains a lot there. So that's telling that the fog would just kind of hang around for a while like that.
How does it look outside your door? I just outside your window, Blake. I just took a look, and it is all gray everywhere. All gray everywhere. So that's a question I want every viewer to jump in and leave a comment on, whether you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube or X. Look out your window and tell me what is your current situation and what is your rough area, like where are you from, like where are you at and what's it look like? Blake, what's it look like around you?
Mild blue skies, clouds, nothing. I don't see any mysterious, anything on my end yet.
I don't see mysterious fog. I see lots of cloudy gray.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we've seen. I don't know. Did we cut her off in midstream, or is she completed? Okay.
So we'll keep rolling.
And I've woke up today with a sore throat. Obviously, the shit that we're breathing in, because I don't feel like this is a normal fog. This is some type of chemical fog, and we all know that they fucking hate us and they want us ill and poorly. And what better way to do it than affecting our air pollution with this shit that they're fucking spraying? I don't even know what it is. But yeah, this fog is not normal. And I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but if you've got a white car, the fucking car doesn't stay white for any longer than a day. Right, look at all this. I went and got this car cleaned 5 days ago. Look at that.
Whoa.
That's not normal. I've never known my car to be so dirty after washing it 5 days after.
It's so dirty. The way some people use that dirty.
Their dirty pub language. I'm so offended.
Dirty pub language.
But
yeah, Blake, this mysterious fog could be a collusive chemical attack. I agree. And look, I'm taking the thing that's lingering is the just a little in my throat. I've had ear pressure build up where it's like sometimes like you gotta kind of press on your nose and blow some air through there to like pop your ears. If you're driving through the mountains or you take off in an airplane, you get elevation and it messes with your ears. I've had some of that going on. I had some nasal congestion, a lot of achiness and neck aches and headaches. It's been a weird several days. It's been a weird week. I'm not in the middle of the fog scenario, but they got this bird flu thing going around, or at least that's what they're going to try to call it, of course, because then they can try to shut you down and silence you and take your job away and mandate that you put some more stuff in your body potentially, if we're not if we're not ready for this. There's always the potential that any single health incident could be abused for power and control. What does this one say, Blake, that you pulled up?
It's from Ben Davidson, who's pretty, very scientific minded. He's asking for a bit of help. With so many stories about the fog, hard to tell what is verified. What are you guys hearing? Distribution, out effects, sickness, symptoms. Says he has a friend that went violently ill after fog exposure last night.
Okay.
And I guess it's from Florida to the East Coast.
Yeah, I was traveling. I was traveling. I was up in Ohio. And when I got out of Ohio that next morning, I was like, but even in Ohio, I got like a headache, neck ache thing. But then it turned into like a body aching thing. Like I said, and then the ears being popped thing, and the nasal and the lingering cough. So, just kind of curious about everybody else. Kenneth, where's it from? I don't have the foggiest. He's saying, oh, it's all marketing. It's from this whole fog story is just another creation of Big Raincoat. It's just another creation of the big raincoat industry to sell more raincoats. And he's saying it's sunny and so nice in Central Florida. But when he looked out his window, he saw London, he saw France. Okay.
Was that me getting up from the window? Did you get a peek at my boxers or my hernia belt?
You got a hernia belt?
Yeah.
How is that going?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's a little cup that makes sure that my hernia doesn't pop out. Fantastic.
Okay.
Well, I figure out how to get some medical benefits and then get the little surgery. Can't wait.
And that's maybe not debilitating, but that definitely changes how you approach every day.
Sure does.
Yeah,
you bet it does.
I mean, that's humanity. Like we waste the years that we're invincible. We really do. But yeah, it's all about trying to avoid. I've had my fair share of things in the past and my fair share of things that trying to work on now. I got like a popping in one shoulder. I got like a little bit of discomfort, tendinitis or something else in another. Just we're all trying to be as healthy as we can. And the last thing we need is an unnatural flu to get dumped out at us as the form of some rolling fog. You heard those stories about where millions of GMO mosquitoes were released over XYZ. It's like you don't want anything being sprayed in the skies, chemtrails. You don't want anything being dumped into the water. You don't want stuff just coating everything, aerosolized into the air. Wherever we can identify that this shit is happening, it has to be stopped. And the people doing it need to be punished for it. We're not even entirely certain what is going on, Blake. What would you say? Do you think it's likely that there's something definitely being rolled out right now and you can feel it? Because, like I said, I've got my own thing for the past week. If you can't tell, I'm still having a hard time communicating without it all being nasally. But what's your personal take? Because we're all just guessing. We're not accusing and asserting anything with 100%, veracity. We're not entirely certain. But what's your gut tell you?
Well, if it's in multiple locations and in multiple countries at the same time, then I'm going to lean towards this is a chemical attack. They're testing something. Is my guess. I don't know what else it would be. I mean, if it's one place, like I said, it's a train derails in Palestine, Ohio. Chemicals are going to affect the local population. But if there's similar things happening in England, then we throw that theory out the window. This can't be a coincidence. I asked Grok just to see what they would come up with. Is there a good theory? And Grok says there are several theories that some have been dubbed the FogVid 24. Okay, so here's a breakdown of our theories. Chemical or biological agents. One of the prominent theories, the fog may contain chemical or biological agents that are not naturally occurring. Some posts are saying it could be like silver iodine, which might cause symptoms such as stomach aches. And it aligns with historical theories like the miasma theory, where fog was thought to carry disease. Although modern science understands.
Blake, hold on. All right, let's pause. Blake does a show with TV's Mike Barra. You've seen on Ancient Aliens and more. We launched a show with Mike. Strictly Football, part of our TNAM Sports and the Unhappy Hour Sports Show sports group. We do once a week. I think Thursday will be live at 5:00 Eastern, covering all things football. But Grok talking about fog immediately preceding sickness, illness. that was a major plot line of one of those Ancient Aliens episodes where like the Grim Reaper, some of these things predicted or shown for the bubonic plague, some of these gas masks, some of the things that people wore. There's a theory, Blake. There's a theory out there about big fog, that there are beings that will do this. They will cull the herd, if you will. Have you seen that episode? Have you studied that in antiquity or just in more modern eras, or any thoughts on that?
Well, I do think that there could be some, cataclysms happening. In fact, that guy I just showed you, that Ben Davidson, he's one of the major scientific minds that does talk about that. And it's something that occurs like every 12,000 years, a natural part of the cycle. And that we're maybe 10 or 20 years away from another one of these big events where the Earth gets jostled around a little bit. Well, quite a bit, actually. Continents shift a bit. You can say Antarctica goes back and forth from the South Pole to the equator. And it'll appear like an ice age because it'll take so long for Antarctica to thaw out, and then whatever replaces it to start gathering enough ice over thousands of years to become the new South Pole. I don't know. We're speculating. We're going into some deep conspiracy theory. Actually, it's not really not, because we have evidence of this all over the Earth. Just a matter of when it's going to happen. But I think it looks like 10 or 20 years away. I don't know if they would be culling the herd before then, but it's kind of like, the old game like Civilization. Maybe not Civilization, Sim City. That's kind of the one I'm thinking of, where you can do you just get bored, you build everything, and then after a while you're just like, we'll just start calling out natural disasters, mix it up a little bit, start playing God. Things are going to end anyway. I don't know if that's what's happening.
There's a new game that I was playing, and it really does sort of remind me of Sim City. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called, once again, not a sponsor, but I should get a sponsor, Whiteout Survival. Have you seen that one advertised?
Nope.
And it's kind of, all right, everything's frozen. You got to hurry up and you got to light some wood on fire, and you got to thaw some things out. And now you got to mine some resources and go harvest some meat. And, now you got this little city, and it really is like a Sim City, and there's a lot going on with it. But yeah, and now the raids have started, so it's just kind of like, well, we're starting to get bored with just building. Now we gotta, but yeah, I mean, that's the nature of things. People say, like, what if there is an afterlife? What if you do go to some secondary location, call it heaven? And it's like, all right, well, what's heaven like? It's perfect. You're on a cloud and there's a harp. Awesome. So what do? It's like, it's perfection and you're on a cloud with a harp. All right, what about the next day? Well, it's the best day ever and you're on a cloud with a harp, and you're like, okay. What happens the next day? Like, it's the best day ever because it's just so peaceful. And you're like, I'm so bored already, and we haven't gotten through the first week. This starts to feel like hell. So, like, the concept of heaven and hell. What is heaven and hell? What is the differentiation? What is the distinction? What is the point? Are we spiritual beings having a human experience, or are we human beings having a spiritual experience? It's kind of just a matter of how you want to parse thinking about what's going on. And it's like, well, maybe we do come down to this AI environment, this video game simulation, this Sim City Whiteout Survival. And it's like, there's just all sorts of crazy shit going on. It's like, well, how much of it do we have to stop what we're doing and urgently address? We have to take care of our basic needs. We have all these external things getting in the way and messing stuff up. Sometimes a windfall, sometimes a massive expenditure. And you're like, but like, that's the video game. That's the simulation. That's the environment that we find ourselves in. But most of us feel that something was unleashed upon us 4 years ago that was demonic, caused me to lose probably half of my immediate family, my mom and my brother. My mom right at the beginning of COVID, like 2 weeks before everything shut down. My brother pretty much right at the end of it. And it's like, well, what the fuck? Where did that stuff come from? It came from a wet market. What does that mean? What did Jon Stewart say? A bat had sex with a pangolin. Let's just ignore the biological research facility right across the street, you assholes. And it's like, well, okay, They're like, oh, it leaked out. No, I've never said it's a lab leak. It was an intentional release. It was an attack of a bioweapon. It wasn't a fucking accident. It just happened randomly in nature. Oh, it magically escaped. What a tragedy. No, this was fucking intentional. By the way, go to cdc.gov/vaccines because they'll tell you whatever makes them money. Have fun. Luigi's having fun. There's blowback to all of this stuff. I'm not encouraging any of it. I'm not condoning, supporting. I'm not shooting any of it down per se. I'm just identifying what the current scape of the universe is. Nobody trusts anybody that's lied to us for the past 4 fucking years. And that is the point of the title of today's show, summing up 2024 as we welcome in the new year of 2025. The lies and the bullshit, the manipulation, the power, the control, the massive censorship, the massive killing of millions and millions of people, whether it's in a Ukraine debacle that never should have happened, the chaos in Gaza that should have never fucking happened, and the virus that was unleashed upon us to terrorize us, ruin our families forever, take players off of our chessboard of life in perpetuity, you fuckers. In perpetuity. That shit has been rejected. And so in that regard, I feel positive, but we haven't done anything yet. Our stupid system, please God, Trump. Well, hold on. Please God, not God, Trump. Please, for the love of God, Donald Trump, you need to do whatever it takes to pass legislation that says when you are fired as president, you got 24 hours to pack your shit and go. You better call up Tyrone and tell him to come get his shit, sang Erykah Badu in that awesome song called Tyrone. God, that's a great song. Blake, you should look up Tyrone by Erykah Badu. God, it's a great song about just calling up Tyrone to come tell him to come get his shit. The way she sings it with the energy and with just, you can feel it in her voice, and the song is smooth. The music is cool. It's just, she's funny. It's like she's doing it in a live recorded version and the crowd's into it and they're yelling back. And she's just that. You better call up, instead of Tyrone, call up old Joe and tell him to come get his shit because it's going on the front yard in 24 hours. This 2-month lame duck period for them to ram through and unleash chemical attacks and another few $1 billion for Ukraine money laundering. Fuck off with all that stuff. I hope that Trump finds a way to jam through. When you are fired as president of the United States, you got 24 hours to pack your shit and go. Moving on. We are not going to find a way to loot and plunder, steal, and cause as much damage on the way out as possible. Never again. Please, because I'm very uncomfortable about that. But I also am positive if we can get through this in the next couple of weeks, it's the golden age of humanity, Blake. So what did you have pulled up here about space weather news? Who is this guy? Sun weather?
The guy I just already mentioned a couple of times. He talks about the geomagnetic excursions, the big events. You can also find these things on The Ancient Apocalypse with Graham Hancock on Netflix. They just came out with season 2. You can go to any culture in the world. You've got advanced you have evidence of advanced civilizations that have been all over the world, and they talk about how once every 12,000 years there's a big event here that changes the earth, and then we have to rebuild and start all over. So anyway, but yeah, he was talking about that. He's very scientific, and he's interesting character. And you can go check him out. He's the Suspicious Observers guy. Maybe people remember from YouTube. He's still doing daily updates, so you can check him out. But we'll get back to this grok theory. I think we got way off in the weeds again. Mysterious fog and some of the reasons why that might happen. It could be environmental pollution, but it seems unlikely because there's multiple countries. There's meteorological phenomena and conspiracy theories, health and psychological effects. So anyway, I'll summarize the end here from when I asked Grok about the mystery fog. And he said, well, these theories exist. It's important to approach them with skepticism and seek verification from credible scientific sources. As of now, no definitive scientific explanation has been confirmed for this phenomenon, though the connection between environmental conditions and health is complex and multifaceted. If you or someone you know is affected, consulting with healthcare professionals and following local health advisories would be the most prudent course of action. So, still trying to figure that out. But I'm calling conspiracy theory again. If it's you can't have this fog happening on the East Coast and in Britain at the same time.
Well, let's take a look and just get some visuals, and then we'll move on. And Blake, if you want to cue it up, the next topic will be asking about, do we need a bird flu virus? Because
All right, is there fog where you live? And two, are you feeling a little sick or off lately? Because I'm seeing this all over social media and it's starting to get weird now. I mean, even me, I was just brushing it off because there's fog this time of the year, but usually fog doesn't stay for multiple consecutive days. And people are alleging that they're walking into this fog and it smells not normal. Some people are saying they're walking through it and their body just feels really off after. And it's really dense too. There's a lot of dense fog warnings in the United States. And now I'm seeing in the UK, some airplanes are having trouble even taking off because there's a lot of fog there too. Like I said, I know fog is normal this time of the year, but the amount of social media posts I'm seeing about this is starting to get concerning. So I'm hopping on here to ask you if you guys have any.
Anyway, obviously, post your stories as you find them, Blake. It is interesting. I mean, geez, this one here, where's
Florida?
Why won't this go big? There we go.
It's not snowing here, folks. It's not raining at all.
And they're playing music that'll get us flagged on YouTube. YouTube will use any reason. Oh, there was some generic piano piece in the background of some dipshit video that didn't bring any monetary value, but therefore we're going to ban your video in several countries.
But isn't that a cover of another song?
I don't know. I turned it up. As soon as I heard music, I'm like, music.
Oh, okay. Well,
YouTube have done. They've trained us to fear music. You're not supposed to fear music. You're supposed to share music. You're not making money because you had some random background on some random video because you're reporting on a story. You're allowed to report on a story that happens to have background music. You can't show this hour-long Trump speech because at the end he plays "Hold On, I'm Coming" by Sam and Dave. So no, it's banned and blocked in all these countries because this current event happened to include music. It's so stupid.
What YouTube is a cover song? Is that the same thing?
Yes.
Because that's the Pixies, "Where's My Mind," and then that is like a piano cover.
Was it? I didn't. Was that really? I like the Pixies. Where is my mind?
Yep.
That is a really cool song. But anyway, this is something to keep our eyes peeled for, because if it affects.
Was he in the Fight Club on New Year's Eve, or is it just the fireworks from blowing up the credit card buildings or whatever, the banking?
I'm sorry. You're gonna need to. What's the question? You're talking about Fight Club?
Yeah. The end of the movie. That's where they play that song, right?
Oh, I didn't remember it from that scene, but maybe it is. Sorry, I did not remember it from that scene. Yeah, but you're probably right. You're probably right. If you can remember it, then let's just assume, unless CERN has implanted that false memory into our brains during the simulation, during an upgrade of 2012.
Perhaps.
All right, Blake, do you agree or disagree that America?
That's the original, and the Pixies covered it. I don't know. Where is my mind, Brian? I don't know.
The original "Where Is My Mind" was covered by the Berenstain Bears, and then in this new reality. No, because that's another Mandela effect. Berenstain.
Oh, yeah, I do. Okay.
Fruit of the Loom, all of these things. It's like, no, I know I grew up with that. Don't tell me he wasn't in that movie. Don't tell me this didn't happen. Don't tell me it's
Richard Simmons didn't wear a headband. Right.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Blake, agree or disagree that Americans need millions of bird flu vaccines ASAP? Maybe because of fog. I mean birds. I mean money. I mean power. I mean control.
Perhaps. We'll see. I don't know.
Oh, this lady, her face, she looks like a skull. And it's like every time I look at her, it's just just go ahead.
You don't like this?
I hate her so much.
As a doctor?
I remember her from 4 years ago. This monster, this demon, like in her. I just see it all over her. She's like that scene from Indiana Jones where like the face right before it melts off, it's all sunken and like ghoulish. She embodies a ghoul to me. Just to look at her, I cringe, like my skin crawls. And it's not because of her physical appearance. It's because of her soul. It's because of what she's pushed before. It's what she's doing now. It's because I know who's pulling her marionette strings. In fact, she looks like a creepy marionette skeleton with a skin costume on. Now go out there, master, and sell that shit. I hate her so much, but I'll shut up now.
Okay. I was going to say, what did Kenneth send you some chill move? I forgot we do have the music they have in the background now, which we can play, which is there.
Let's play some music. Blake has the festive background, and Kenneth, I haven't been to my PO box yet. I got to go pick it up. Thank you for the reminder. But yes, Kenneth was gonna play some chill music. Oh, Blake's playing DJ. He's gonna mix it up a little bit.
Well, no, they have a New Year
DJ. What would your DJ name be, Blake?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
I do.
You
would be DJ Eccentric.
Maybe. Spell it differently or something. There you go.
Yeah, because Blake used to have a moniker of Eccentric Perspective. The Gonzo journalist of the Eccentric Perspective, right?
Right. Well, DJ I might bring that back at some point. We'll see. But
all right, let's get to this lady so we can get her off the screen. I don't want her on any more than she has to.
Okay. Well, there he is. The COVID tyrant, Dr. Liana Wen, says Biden regime needs to get millions of doses of the bird flu jabs to the American people ASAP.
Oh.
So she's the commie spy, communist doctor who demanded Americans lose all their rights during the COVID pandemic. She appeared on CBS on Sunday to discuss the bird flu outbreak, which CDC confirmed the first severe U.S. human case from some 65-year-old Louisiana man who had contact with some sick birds in his backyard. California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom last week declared a state of emergency in response to the outbreak. And that's when the commie spy chimed in. So she was born in China, served as the president of Planned Parenthood until July 2018.
Oh, wow, that doesn't fit our population reduction theory at all now, does it? Hey, make sure you go out there and raise your families and do as society has done forever. No, let's do the opposite. Let's abort all our babies and import the third world and see how it goes. Let's see if kids start getting gunned down on their porch steps in your backyard, Blake. Yeah, let's see what happens across the country. How well, instead of having shared experiences and shared culture and camaraderie and protection, general affinity for our neighbors, our neighborhood, our cities, our states. No, just dump the third world here. Just turn it upside down and see how that goes. Instead of raising families, let's just abort them. Oh, we need people? Import all of the killers and the murderers, the rapists. They're not all bad people. I'm sure they're not all bad, but you're supposed to filter out the poison before you drink the water, right? And if there's 1% of poison, you'd want to filter it out. Anyone that doesn't want to filter water, drink at your own risk. You're a nut job, and I don't take my advice from you, but please continue.
Right. So
maybe I'm getting a little too abstract here, but I've got a lot of. I don't think it's that abstract. She's for Planned Parenthood, abort and kill all of the life that could become the youth of the next generation that makes us strong and helps our middle age.
What if they're unwanted, though, Brian? That's the theory behind Freakonomics. Is that when you have too strict of an abortion policy like they had in Romania, all of a sudden all those orphan children grow up to be criminals. If they're not in like an environment of like a loving family and they're just unwanted, and of course we know about the orphans that are tend to be abused because no one's looking out for them. There's a lot of there's a dark side to that. So
and there's a lot of Fauci stories about that. I saw RFK going in depth about how Fauci and their teams, they made sure that they worked with orphans because nobody could stick up for them, and they'd start injecting them and giving them all sorts of pills and medical treatments, etc. This is the RFK Jr. from his book about Fauci. and that they just abuse these kids and they use them as human lab rats, guinea pigs. And you've seen the accusations across Florida. I'm sorry, across Africa. Oh, look, we're out here. We're spreading good. You're spreading something, MFer, and you're doing it in places that nobody can hold you accountable. And for what reason? There are shields of liability dating back to the 80s from certain types of medicines that you can inject inside your body. No repercussions, even when you have been doing testing and you're not telling us the bad shit that you're finding out. No, that is fraud, and that what's the word? Vitiates? Wait, what word am I trying to say? I've screwed up my V word.
Vitiate, yeah, something like that.
Not satiates, but fraud removes protection liabilities. When you are outright running scams and you know that your product is harming people and you're not telling people, there's no protection. It's all open game, and nobody should be immune to having some sort of repercussion. Now, there's a difference between having a reasonable repercussion, and it's like, Alex Jones, you're sued for a quadrillion, gazillion, quintillion macaroons and dollars, and every dollar you ever make times 7, so you can never make $1. It's like, well, you can't make a fee that's so unpayable that it's not even a number. Trump got hit with numbers that aren't even numbers. Those were meant to destroy any normal person. That's cruel and unusual punishment. So yeah, there should be ramifications. Should everybody go bankrupt if they're actually trying to do the right thing? No, I don't think so. As long as people are properly informed, but everybody's been bribed. Everybody's been bribed, and very few people have been looking out for us. They've been looking out for, stock options. They've been looking out for paydays. They've been looking out for bonuses, and nobody's given a shit. But it feels like that's changing if we can survive the next month until a new team takes place, including RFK going after Fauci and any other medical professional that will prey upon the most vulnerable people in the world, and that's an orphan. How fucking dare you? Anybody that's going to try to harm a child, try to harm an innocent child, try to harm a child that doesn't have the right infrastructure to stand up and defend itself, demonic, Blake. That should be instant death penalty, anyone that's going to prey upon a child. It's pretty simple. And anyone that wants to disagree with that point, please put your gold star on your chest so it's bright and shiny for us all to see. I want to hear you defend why we shouldn't defend the most vulnerable populations amongst us. So anyway, I digress. What else we got here?
Well, I suppose we should stay on the first topic. Do you want to listen to your girl win?
Yeah, let's. A brilliant man, Scott Adams. I do have him listed as one of the podcasts worth listening to. I think there's a lot of info that gets dumped in there. But one of the key points that he goes back to, and he has written some books and some self-help things about getting your life in order, and Jordan Peterson as well. But Scott Adams says it's like it's important to know the story that you're talking about. It's important to know the facts of the story, but sometimes, maybe most of the time, more importantly, know the players and you'll know the situation. This lady, you know what she was up to last time. You know that she cannot be trusted, and almost whatever she's out there trying to trick you into, you should reject with every fiber of your being, every ounce you have of fight in you. If you know the players, you know the game. So let's hear what she has to say and what she's going to tell us we need to be doing, Blake.
Okay.
The Biden administration right now that isn't going on.
Yeah, there are two main things that they should be doing in the days that they have left.
Overactive.
The first is to get testing out there. I feel like we should have learned our lesson from COVID that just because we aren't testing, it doesn't mean that the virus isn't there. It just means that we aren't looking for it. We should be having rapid tests, home tests available to all farm workers, to their families, for the clinicians taking care of them, so that we aren't waiting for public labs and CDC labs to tell us what's bird flu or not. Okay. And the second very important thing is—
Pause it before she gets to the second point. The people that developed the mRNA technology said, you can't, this isn't designed to test for COVID. The people who built it said, don't do it. It's like the guy that says, I'm going to build a submarine to go down and look at the Titanic. But he goes, but don't go in there. It's just something I built in my garage. It's not going to no, it'll crush you like a tin can. I built it as like an experiment, as a little project to go play video games in. I didn't mean go fucking do it. the people that created these rapid tests, that created these COVID at home tests, they said that they're not designed to find COVID. Oh, well, you got to ramp up the testing. You got to spin it so many thousand more repetitions that you're going to find it on everything. You're finding it on on an apple. You're going to find it on a can of Pepsi Cola. You're going to find it floating out in the universe, like COVID everywhere. But that doesn't mean you're even finding COVID. It's you've ramped up the testing. So it's like if you have a Ring camera and you set it to turn the lights on anytime there's a single motion. Well, every bird flap, every leaf blowing, every blade of grass keeps setting this thing off and the light never goes off. You have to refine the search so that it hits your doorway or your driveway or the whatever area you're intending to investigate. So anytime you hear someone start to say, oh, we need rapid testing everywhere, like Hillary was saying, oh, we need rapid testing everywhere, like all the Democrats were saying, they used it to bludgeon Trump. They used it to overinflate these numbers, to shut you down from working, to shut you down from doing anything in your life. Am I going way too far on her point number one, Blake, or am I reading it pretty much as you were? Pushing rapid testing for all. Look everywhere. Look under every rock. You might find it everywhere.
Perhaps there's a lot of fear mongering going on. Yes, it's trying to get everyone to comply with your directives from an authority.
By the way, hello to Jade Noah Dalton on Rumble saying Happy New Year, guys. We can't see your comments on, right? We can't see them.
Not on Rumble. They're not going to show up in our main.
Yeah, not from Rumble. So I will try my best to keep my eyes peeled to your Rumble comments because I would love all of you to be watching on the New American Media Rumble channel. Please, that would be one of the best places to watch us. So thank you, Jay Noah Dalton, for watching. Happy New Year. Any resolutions? Anything fun going on for you tonight? Okay, Blake, that was her first point number one. Kenneth is mentioning about RFK, that he's going to make us all buff. By the way, Blake, can you do this real quick so I can promote your Toxically Masculine Tuesday show coming up tonight at 9 o'clock, maybe?
We're not on tonight. It's New Year's.
Okay. Next week, you'll be on at 9 o'clock, Toxically Masculine Tuesday?
Correct. 9 o'clock
Right.
time. Thank you very much.
All right. Let's hear her point number two, Blake.
Of COVID, where we were dealing with a new virus, we didn't have a vaccine. There actually is a vaccine developed already against H5N1. The Biden administration has contracted with manufacturers to make almost 5 million doses of the vaccine. However, they have not asked the FDA to authorize the vaccine. There's research done on it. They could get this authorized now and also get the vaccine out and to farm workers and to vulnerable people. I think that's the right approach because we don't know what the Trump administration is going to be doing around bird flu.
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to stop there. How can they possibly have this out already? That's extremely suspicious. It takes years and years and years to really develop a safe, effective jab. And we saw what happened last time. I don't want to get into this, some of the health issues that came about mysteriously, things we'd never heard of before, like myocarditis. Yeah, there could be a number of problems when you rush things. So these are in an experimental phase, and I'm highly suspicious of anything when they already have something. Like no, it should not. It should take a long time to do that. If there's anything quick and easy, it should automatic. If they really cared,
you know what?
HTQ or ivermectin or whatever.
Thank you. That's it. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump your point and point out where you were going. I didn't know you were going to drop it there, but. Yeah, you want to do quick and easy, and I got your magic pill right here. I got your magic beans. Yeah, zinc, quercetin, CD, zinc. Magnesium. Don't take any of my advice. I'm just like, yeah, but just do that. Like when I started feeling not fantastic, I mean, I attacked with everything I could. All of these things, doing the double dose of CD and zinc. CD and zinc should be the cornerstone. You got ivermectin. It's cheap. It's so cheap. It's so easy. I don't know that ivermectin's supposed to be cheap, though, because when I got it, it was very expensive, but that was a different era a couple years ago. But anyway, yeah, just this lady, anytime you see her, your red flag should be going off. I'm not saying she's lying here per se, but my God, anytime I see that lady or Fauci, it's like my go-to-hello-meter just starts buzzing. What do we got here, Blake?
Well, would actually be another topic, but why don't we move, because we're already at the hour mark.
Agree or disagree that the latest bird flu was probably created in a laboratory, Blake?
Well, in full disclosure, I have not watched this video, so I couldn't tell you. I do believe Peter McCullough has integrity. So he's saying the current bird flu strain is a product of gain-of-function research in a Georgia biolab.
And by the way, we are allowed to report what Peter McCullough is reporting. And if you want to censor us for telling you what he's saying, I don't give a shit about your censorship. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, go to hell. We're on X, we're on Rumble, we're on Telegram and Signal. Telegram, Signal, we're TNAM and TNAM chat. TNAM and TNAM chat on Telegram and Signal. I don't need you, YouTube. I don't need you, Facebook. I don't need you, Instagram. Go to hell. I am never going to censor myself ever fucking again. Fucking never. By the way, New Year's resolution, I'm going to try so hard to put those Crayola crayons back into the box every time I start swearing. But I sincerely mean the things I say when I start coloring with those F-bomb crayons. So I apologize. Anyway, Blake.
I don't have anything to say. I don't have anything else to add to this story. Other than that, it's certainly interesting that they're calling this out as the same playbook. Basically, it's gain of function, which took a long time for them to. I don't even know if they actually fully admitted it, but it seems pretty obvious by now that came from a lab in Wuhan. It was not from the wet market, and that they were funding gain of function research in that lab. And it was also a connection to another lab, I believe, in North Carolina. This one happens to be in Georgia. At least that's what he's speculating. But I'm calling shenanigans on this. I don't know if it's jumped from human to human yet. That's the other thing. So with this particular strain, so it could just be, more fear mongering. And with that lady, Dr. Wynn, is not too credible. I wouldn't take her too seriously. They're obviously motivated by financial greed and compliance for the population. They make a lot of money off these things. So I don't know. People should do their own research. You can listen to whoever you want. CDC, WHO. Don't take your medical advice from me. But I was right on the COVID stuff. It seemed to be a lot of it took a long time. I got a lot of misinformation labels, a lot of censorship, lost a YouTube channel.
Yep.
I just use common sense and try to encourage people to think for themselves and do their own research. And why don't you go ahead, play that clip from Jon Stewart. It took Jon Stewart getting on a show to leak that out. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been allowed to say something like that.
And by the way, you know what's going to happen? ABC, ESPN, ABC, ESPN, Disney are going to flag our show today because we're going to play this clip from Stephen Colbert so that they can ban our video in other countries because we provide content. We have fair use exclusions to the copyright laws to say we're going to play you a clip so that we can comment on a clip, connect it to stories in the news today. We're going to provide original analysis, original, unique commentary. We have all of the protections and carve-outs. No fucking doubt in my mind that YouTube is going to try to censor our video down the memory hole so nobody else can see it, so it can't be monetized, so we can't earn a fucking goddamn income doing the same shit that those paid propagandists are doing, only to lie to you. We're trying to tell you the truth. They lie to you so they get rewarded with pay. We get demonetized so we can go fuck ourselves, right? I'm going to play this because we're allowed to. And I promise that YouTube is going to throw this down the memory hole because of it. But we're allowed to, and I'm going to because it's fantastic. Hello in the live chat to Brian Keith Cooper on Rumble. Happy New Year to you as well. Any plans for tonight? Any New Year's resolutions? And anything else? Yeah, CDs, Ds. CDsnuts.gov. Would you like to see these nuts? All right, here we go. Here is Jon Stewart talking about the origin of COVID. It's relevant because, God, he was the only person to stand up and say this from the loony left. And after he did, pretty much the narrative broke down.
I think we owe a great debt of gratitude.
We do.
To science. Science has in many ways helped ease the suffering of this pandemic.
Yes.
Which was more than likely caused by science.
Which was more than likely caused by science.
No. Now, listen.
He was going to do a spit take on him?
I'm all for that to you. What do you mean by it? Do you mean like there's a...
What did you mean? Like, Blake, you saw how quick he was trying to get him to shut the hell up, right? I'm not the only one that sees that.
Yes, Colbert has turned into a corporate hack.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised it still aired because usually these are pre-recorded, but it still made it through, thankfully.
He continues here.
This was created in a lab as an investigation. A chance? Well,
hold on. I talked over a second of it. Here we go.
There's a chance that this was created in a lab as an investigation. A chance?
There's a chance that they're in his ear saying, tell him there's a chance it was created. No, that it was...
Well, oh my God. Novel.
Where's the evidence? Shut up, Colbert. God, I hate him.
I'll give that to you. What do you mean by it? Do you mean like there's a chance that this was created in a lab as an investigation? A chance? Well, oh my God. There's a novel respiratory coronavirus overtaking Wuhan, China. What do we do? Oh, you know who we could ask? The Wuhan novel respiratory coronavirus lab. The disease is the same name as the lab. That's just a little too weird, don't you think? And then they ask the scientists, they're like, how did this... So wait a minute, you work at the Wuhan respiratory coronavirus lab. How did this happen? And they're like, a pangolin kissed a turtle. And you're like, no, the name of your lab...
A pangolin kissed a turtle, Blake. A pangolin kissed a turtle. I said a bat kissed a pangolin. That's close.
The name of your lab, and you look at the name. Look at the name. Let me see your business card. Show me your business card. Oh, I work at the coronavirus lab in Wuhan. Oh, because there's a coronavirus loose in Wuhan. How did that happen? Maybe a bat flew into the cloaca of a turkey and then it sneezed into my chili and now we all have coronavirus. Like, come on. Okay. What about this?
Thank you, John.
All right, John. Oh my God.
Thank you, John, because John has sucked so much over the past decade. But like this was, oh my God, I forgot why I love Jon Stewart so much. You used to love Jon Stewart. He went off the rails. But Blake, I mean,
what Jon Stewart? I still like Jon Stewart. Yeah. There's been a couple of things, but I've always appreciated his intellectual honesty. And he fucking buried Republicans for years, and he still does some good work. I mean, I know that the Daily Show is just a big woke fest and it's lame, but you know, he tries to meet in the middle. But I've always respected John, and yeah, he broke through, and he had to use kind of a, this outrageous comedy bit just to get this, past the censors. Otherwise, they would have shut everything down.
There's like Woody Harrelson on Saturday Night Live. Remember when he did the same thing about the pharmaceutical industrial complex? But yeah, I hope this clip wraps up with him bringing up the final joke that maybe you can best remember this whole bit as.
There's been an outbreak of chocolatey goodness near Hershey, Pennsylvania. What do you think happened? Like, oh, I don't know. Maybe a steam shovel made it with a cocoa bean. Or it's the chocolate factory. Maybe that's it.
Yes. God, that was just one of the most epic videos. That wasn't from this year, but that's in the running for one of the best, most important segments in all of media since 2000. Of the brand new millennium, that segment right there is one of the best things anybody will ever create that you will ever see, Blake. Okay, let's switch gears now into pretty much the main topic of the show, but that stuff was more urgent and primary since we're, it's all about what if we're being poisoned right now? What are we supposed to do about it? But Blake, 2024, agree or disagree that this is the year where the lying legacy media finally lost all of their remaining credibility. Would you agree or disagree? 2024 is when MSM collapsed.
Yeah, I think this is the turning point. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I mean, after all the different hoaxes that came out, and after we saw the debacle of the downfall of Biden, I think you just have to turn it off completely now. I don't think people would be crazy to even remotely think that the MSM is trying to tell you the truth. And we'll pull out a few examples. But I think, the landscape has changed too much. Now you got people that are getting news from Twitter X or TikTok or other sources. I just don't see how these legacy outlets continue to last in the same capacity.
Agreed. Pause right there for a second, Blake. I just want to shout out Brian because he is, like I said, on Rumble, these comments. I want to make sure that you know that we are engaging. This is a multiple stream conversation here because I did ask any plans for the new year because I'm just trying to figure out where people are at. So he says his plan is to welcome in the new year with his wife in their apartment here in Lima, Peru. Is it Lima or Lima? I think it's Lima. I did say it right. But yeah, New Year's resolution, get my Rumble channel established for Bible lessons in English and Spanish. Bravo. Bravo. El Rey, the King. God. Welcome, Brian. Keith Cooper, thanks for joining us on the program, man. Please invite all your other smart friends to join us. We're trying to have a good time here. Okay, Blake, back to you, sir. You had some clips about where the mainstream media has lost all of their remaining credibility. It really is now, but I've looked at mainstream as only worthy of comedic value. Except it's not funny when they're being successful at brainwashing simpletons. It makes me sad that people watch that stuff and think they're being told accurate information. And then these people are yelling at me in the universe when I'm out and about having conversations with like the wildest, most backward theories. And like, where's this coming from? You go, oh my God, you watch MSNBC unironically? You watch CNN thinking you're getting information? Oh, fuck. Like, you guys are still around? I thought we were done with, but like, there's still a group of people that listen to Democrats, listen to the lying legacy media, the deep state, the CIA propaganda, Smith-Mundt bullshit, the laundry list of hoaxes that they come up with. The Republicans don't put up hoaxes. You might disagree with what you think is a better policy, but there's like no hoaxes. What about Obama's birth certificate? We have questions. What about COVID, the lab leak? Yeah, what about it? That's not a conspiracy. That's not a fake story. That's not bringing up something that is completely, it's investigation. So anyway, here's some of the top 10 hoaxes from the propagandists, Blake.
Yeah, we can run through the top 10 and I can show a couple of examples of the MSM, but these are all things that the MSM have pushed. So this is just for 2024. You got one of the number one here is the bloodbath controversy. So speaking to rally goers in Ohio, the former and soon-to-be president warned that the U.S. automobile industry would face an economic bloodbath if Democrats won the White House in 2024. Of course, the media hacks quickly jumped in on the former president's comments, which they distorted to make it appear as if Trump was threatening a literal bloodbath if he lost his re-election bid. So the left-wing outlets such as NBC, CBS, New York Times, they ran all these headlines as Trump says country faces a bloodbath if Biden wins in November. That was probably the most audacious headline, that one from Politico. So they took something.
I wonder, why can't they be sued? Why can't they be sued like InfoWars, Blake? They are inciting violence by saying, oh, this side is trying to threaten all sorts of murder and death. You better stop him. Maybe with a bullet in Butler, Pennsylvania, maybe from the bushes or from a shrubbery on a golf course in Florida. They're literally calling to assassinate Trump by putting out fake stories like this. Why can't they be sued into oblivion like InfoWars? For the life of me, help me understand it.
Well, they did sue Stephanopoulos, and we'll see if there's more. But yes, these things should be known, and people should use these as reasons to tune out the MSM. Two, what else did they have? The war on the Supreme Court. Yeah, Democrats continue to smear attacks on Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito. The New York Times took its hysteria to a whole new level, fabricating a controversy about an upside-down American flag flown at the Virginia residence of Alito and his wife, which claimed the outlet claim was a symbol adopted by some Stop the Steal protesters. Alito told the paper he had no involvement whatsoever. It was placed there by his wife to protest a neighbor's profane yard signs. But
by the way, This is our logo for the New American Media. Let me show you. We're flying the flag upside down because that's the international symbol for we've been overthrown. We are a nation in distress. So yeah, by the way, on January 20th or 21st, I believe we're going to change our logos. It's a lot of work, maybe, but maybe whatever. We're just gonna have to go everywhere. And there is a version of that where that upside down flag of distress is taken down, and our normal flag of prosperity and security and prosperity is re-raised after we kick Obama's third term to the curb. Lord willing, we can make it another month. But anyway, yeah, these people that intentionally lie about this stuff to try to activate their goon squads to violence, I think they have to be held accountable because they know what they're doing, Blake.
Right. No, I agree. I think this is probably the biggest hoax of the year, but it could, there's so many of them, but hiding Biden's cognitive decline is should be something that should bury their credibility forever. So I don't know. Yeah, we all know that. We've known it for years. It got worse and worse. And then they started saying that these were cheap fakes. That was that buzzword for a while until he got onto the debate stage and removed all doubt. What else do we have for hoaxes? Number 4, Project 2025. You heard that all the time. It was the Heritage Foundation that put that out, and they made it sound like it was devised by a Trump administration. That's what they really wanted to do, even though it wasn't half as bad as they tried to make it out to be. It was just, classic conservative. But anyway, so that was another one that they pushed. The whole border czar thing, when they finally had to admit that the border was was out of control, and that it was Kamala Harris who was the border czar, and that was her job. And they pretended that she was never the border czar, even though every outlet said she was years back.
And one quick point on that, let's remember, it's not that it was out of control. It was in their control. Let's make sure we don't use their words. Oh, it wasn't a potential lab leak. It was a fucking unleashing of demonic death and destruction across the globe when they unleashed COVID. It wasn't a leak. It wasn't. That's like, oh, it was this accident. Oh, man, I wish we could have stopped this accident. No. And it wasn't that it was out of control. It was that the border was in Democrat control. Never again vote for a Democrat ever. You can love abortion as much as you want and form a new party. The Democrats should have lost all faith in leadership because of what they've done. It wasn't out of control. It was under the best control ever under Trump until the Democrats broke it intentionally to flood our nation with 30 million unfiltered people to do God knows what. Shame on them forever. That's pure treason. So anyway, just a verbal semantic point to make there. It wasn't out of control. It was under their control. So. Okay.
Well, yeah. One of the other big hoaxes was the Trump's Arlington Cemetery visit. That was NPR. I think that started that one, making hit pieces on Trump, acting like he was just doing this for photo ops. But later it turned out that, Trump's presence was requested specifically by these Gold Star families who lost loved sons and daughters in Afghanistan after the botched withdrawal. So that was not good. And yeah, Kamala Harris, they didn't show up. Not good. So then they had to try to smear Trump over it. What else? We did the little garbage thing with saying Biden referred to tens of millions of Americans who support Trump as garbage, but then that kind of they did the jujitsu on that, and then he did the photo op where he's working on a garbage truck, and that was pretty funny.
Right. That was maybe you think of Michael Dukakis riding in a tank like a goon, but somehow Trump made working in a drive-through window at McDonald's look cool. He made being a trash man cool. We're so fortunate to be on this timeline, Blake. We're so fortunate.
I agree. Another hoax, number 8, was the Liz Cheney comments that Trump made. They twisted it as making it sound like she was going to be in a firing squad. So while speaking at an event days before the November 5th election, Trump critiqued Cheney's obsession with overseas military adventurism. The former president referred to Cheney as a radical war hawk and defended the troops forced to fight in a never-ending conflicts neocons like Cheney would never personally partake in. And so he said, hey, let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her. Let's see how she feels. And then they twisted that as though he was calling Cheney to be executed via firing squad. So that was another hoax smear.
And that one was so stupid. This shit that these people have put out, it's so stupid. All they've done is push people away from them forever, saying, if you're going to lie to me about something this dumb, I'm never allowed to trust me to trust you ever again. You think I'm so stupid that I'm not going to punish you with my view, my ratings, with my eyeballs, with clicks on your website? I'm done. You wanted me to believe all of this stack of lies. It's a giant tower of pancakes reaching to the moon of liberal lunatic lies. A stack of pancakes to the moon of lies.
Okay.
I just like that visual. Now I want some pancakes. Anyway.
Well, ask Grok to make you a picture. All right. Another one was this assassination attempts. They're trying to like downplay when the last one that longtime Democrat donor allegedly tried to kill the incoming president on the Palm Beach golf course, which it looks like he was tipped off and he was hiding in the bushes. And they just downplayed it as it's just an incident, just a 58-year-old with an unclear political ideology. That was pretty dishonest.
And don't forget when they tried to say Trump wasn't hit by an assassin. There was shrapnel, as if shrapnel wasn't from an assassin. I mean, geez, we had that guest that came on was saying, oh, that was all staged. You know, he put it on X. He's like, oh, that didn't happen. I'm like, that didn't happen. What? Anyway, but yeah, about both assassinations, they were both covered up and manipulated, misreported. That's maybe the best way. Here, let me show you one thing, Blake, real quick, because you asked for it. Tell me which one is your favorite. I have some images here. See, that's pancakes, but it's not really going to the moon. See, this one is almost showing there's the earth and there's the moon and there's just your giant stack of pancakes.
Cool.
This one maybe gets you a little better because now it's like you're floating in between the space. And then there's this one, kind of a close shot. Which one did you like best? 1, 2, 3, 4?
Well, that's a tough one. I guess the 2 on the right are the most accurate.
I'm going to go with this one. I like this. I'm going to go ahead and save this image. Okay, but thanks for that, Blake. I will, because this represents the number of lies the deep state has told us about MAGA. Each pancake is a new hoax from the lying legacy media. This image represents every time a Democrat has literally told you anything about fucking anything. You don't mean literally. They're not literally lying about everything all of the time. No, not all of the time. 60% of the time, 90% of the time, I don't know. But it's almost everything important that comes out of their mouth is a pancake of lies. And they've only done it once or twice. No. They've done it so many times. Each pancake represents one of the big Democrat hoaxes, and they're stacked to the moon. Anyway, this one, thank you, Blake. Now I have the visual, but like to me, each pancake is an inch thick of fluffy goodness. Okay. How many inches between here and the moon? A Democrat's laundry list of lies worth. That's how many. Okay, Blake, back to you. But God, that was funny. I appreciate that. Johnny Cakes. Yes, Johnny Cakes. Do you like pancakes? I like buckwheat pancakes too. Buckwheat are some good pancakes. My dad would make them. I'm like, what is this gross stuff? I'm like, I kind of like buckwheat pancakes.
Yeah, on occasion, I guess. Not too often. I gotta watch that stuff. I can't eat like I used to.
Yeah, there's a way to do crepes that are more egg-based, lighter, thinner, fluffier. Like crepes are like a pseudo pancake. I think we can get away with crepes, but yeah, our pancake days are probably left behind us in our 20s, the Denny's days, the International House of Pancakes, the Awful House, that type of stuff. Those days are kind of behind us. The McDonald's hotcakes days. You can do that when you're invincible in your
Empty
teens.
calories, right? Yeah, when my metabolism would burn everything off. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, fact.
No.
Okay. How many lies did we get through? Was that all 10?
Yeah, pretty much. We'll skip on ahead here. We got plenty of them. Here's probably the worst one of the year. I think this is excellent. This should be. I mean, Joe Scarborough should just resign in shame. Yes, the worst media quote of the year. I think he nailed it. But why don't we just watch it?
But before you press play, this is a great line. I like this. Kenneth said, talking about the stack of pancakes going to the moon. Yeah. The number of lies that the Democrats have stacked pancakes to the moon has given them liabetes. They've given them the liabetes.
Okay.
The liabetes, all the syrup, all of the carbs, all of the sugars. They have liabetes from all of the lies. I love the blurring of these visuals now. Oh, I should see if Grok can put Wilford Brimley in this image. Okay, go ahead. Let's listen to Joe Scarborough. If anyone ever wants to watch MSNBC, well, Joe Scarborough doesn't speak for MSNBC. Oh my God. Yes, he does. He is one of their creature spokesholes. And he's read the line. He takes orders from someone stupid enough or malevolent enough to tell people to say things this dumb because they think their viewers are this dumb. Shame on them. Drive them into the ground, into destruction and bankruptcy, Blake. Let's hear him go. This is so great. Liabetes.
But comparing that guy's mental state, I've said it for years now. He's cogent. But I undersold him when I said he was cogent.
Talking about Biden, obviously.
He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. Intellectually, analytically.
This Willie Geist, he's looking at him like, oh no, don't go there.
Because he's been around for 50 years. And, you know, I don't know if people knew this or not. Biden used to be a hothead. Sometimes that Irishman would get in front of the reasoning. Sometimes he would say things he didn't want to say. This is, and I don't really, you know what, I don't really care. Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth.
He should have just cut himself off 30 seconds ago, but here he's going. He's ready to rip. Bring it.
And F you if you can't handle the truth.
Oh, F me. Okay.
This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for
Not a close second.
50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it.
Really? If it wasn't the truth, he wouldn't say it.
And you,
I don't know if he's ever said anything, if he's ever come back to address that comment. Maybe he did. I don't know. I didn't get to see it. I mean, he should apologize, but nobody should accept the apology because nobody could believe that. Yeah. Clearly, there was something going on for a long time. We have another CNN hack.
Before you move on, Blake, let me just show you this. This is.
Oh, he did. They do have Wilford Brimley. Okay.
My life is just so full right now.
Cool.
Here's Wilford Brimley. He's eaten so much pancakes. He's eaten so much Democrat bullshit. He's now got liabetes on the moon, on the surface of the moon.
Oh, cool.
Now it's almost like he's wearing the Willy. Is that Willy Wonka hat? With Johnny Depp wearing, or no, it's like the Through the Looking Glass, the rabbit hole, one of those top hats. Here you go, Wilford Brimley in between the Earth and the moon. Just he's had it up to here with the pancakes, and here's some gooey liabetes pancakes from the moon. Guys, come on, we are living in the coolest time to ever be alive. Let's not get so black-pilled. The fact that we could create this image together. Now, maybe this will never mean anything other than to Blake and Kenneth and myself and the people watching and the people that will find this episode. But to have a visual that the Democrats It poured so much rich, sugary syrup over so many pancakes of lies that could stretch from the earth to the moon. It gave Wilford Brimley the liabetes. Holy shit. That is funny beyond anything I can hope for. It's so stupid. My bass player would say that joke is craptacular. It's so dumb. It's genius. Thank you, universe. I'm full of gratitude right now, and I'm full of pancakes. I'm full of the liabetes. God, that is beautiful. Okay, Blake, back to you. Whew.
Well, until this Skynet Terminator robots come for us, right? Like the AI. It's cute right now. It makes funny pictures.
I know. It's going to be all robot dogs in servitude. But let's yuck it up while we can. What did you do during the last great fight, Dad? I fought in the meme war, son. I fought in the meme wars. I did my best to show Wilford Brimley on the moon eating pancakes because I thought it would shift the needle on the culture of humanity. I don't know, but it made me laugh. Anyway.
All right. Well, speaking of laughing, we can laugh at some of these so-called journalists. They're corporate reporters. I don't want to call them journalists. So he's apologizing now for ignoring Biden's mental decline.
Who is this? This is CNN.
Chris Cillizza. He's been a prominent guy for a while. I don't pay much attention to him, but occasionally I do. Oh, okay. He reveals himself, or he's usually a tweet that somebody else is making fun of. So, Cillizza.
So he's more infamous than famous.
Yeah, famous for the wrong reasons, I suppose. So,
like Joy Reid and the cast of The View.
Well, no, she's a lot more prominent. I mean, I don't think she's got her own show, and she's always just trying to stir shit up.
By the way, quick shout out to Brian Keith Cooper. Once again, we're chatting in the Rumble stream. Thank you for watching us on Rumble at the New American Media. Hit subscribe. Also, our podcast, The Agree to Disagree Show. We had a very high rated episode, the last one that we did. I think it was 5th all time. So thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast, The Agree to Disagree Show, on Spotify. Brian Keith Cooper was asking if we were affiliated with New America Media or New American Magazine or something. And John,
New American, no.
And no, we are not affiliated with that. I think they do some decent. I've glanced at them. I'm not familiar with them, and I'm not trying to mimic them. But he says he looks forward to seeing more of our content. Stay vigilant, informing us of giving us your reasonable critical advice about how to fix all the problems you're highlighting. And he says, P.S. buckwheat pancakes are the bomb. I love it. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the interaction. And thank you for confirming that buckwheat pancakes are awesome. Now I want to get some for the new year. A lot of butter. I'm all about butter these days. Butter, actual beef, like real food. Just back to like 2 ingredient. Churned milk and salt. That's it. I want that. So give me a nice stack of buckwheat pancakes and butter.
No maple syrup?
Real 100% maple syrup. God, I got some Applewood smoked syrup that is the best. I need to reach out to all these people and say, I promote your shit all the time. Can you maybe support the channel? Bring us into some sponsors. But anyway, thank you to Brian Keith Cooper for watching, and thanks for validating that buckwheat pancakes are the bomb. Okay, so this guy, the CNN political analyst.
Right, the latest leftist propaganda mouthpiece to acknowledge that they knew all along that Biden was mentally diminished shortly into his presidency, but chose to ignore it and claim anyone who questioned it was a conspiracy theory.
Oh, yes. Their favorite slur. I'm going to start taking that as a racial slur. I don't know why. I'm just going to. Anytime I hear that, I'm going to consider it. I'm going to consider it a racial slur from now on. I don't know. I just thought of that, and I'm gonna work that out in my head, see how that works. Because I'm allowed to identify as whatever I want, and if a word triggers me, I can be triggered. I said triggered, Triggered. Triggered. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, well, let's run a quick clip.
As a reporter, I have a confession to make. I should have pushed harder earlier for more information about Joe Biden's mental and physical well-being.
No, you should have had the balls to say something when you had the chance instead of covering it all up.
And any signs of decline. So let me explain. Joe Biden was president from 2020 to 2024. I worked at CNN through
Thanks for the history lesson.
2022. During that time, the early part when I was at CNN, 2020 to 2022, people would Republicans would regularly ping me and say, why don't you ask more questions of Joe Biden and how he's doing? He's 76, 77, 78-year-old man. And I would say, well, there's no obvious evidence that he's declining. Yeah, he moves a little slower, he talks a little slower, but there's no evidence that he's declining. And the White House and the people around Joe Biden were absolutely adamant that suggesting anything, asking the question,
yes, because they're the mafia,
about whether he was in some physical, mental, or both decline was offensive. How could you? It's age shaming.
It's offensive to be called a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
I mean, your lying eyes. What are you going to believe? The people who have now seized control of the United States in a coup, or your lying eyes? What would you believe, Blake? Why wouldn't you believe Sideshow Bob over here, or whatever her name is, Karine Jean-Pierre?
Well, we can listen to her too, because she's going to be asked a very similar question. So I thought I would switch it over to see that. There's another, there's a former hack from CNN, Don Lemon. So let's check her out when she's asked something similar to this.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States.
How dare you put her on the spot and ask her a real question?
You know, I can't even keep up with it.
The most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
What a lie. He's got a little smile at the very end because he knows he's so full of shit.
But they're all coached to do it. That skeleton lady at the beginning that was like, and we all need to make sure that we have rapid testing for everyone. And it's like, she has to like get this perma smile that doesn't go away. And I have a nice soothing voice and I'm going to use it the whole time. And I'm going to have, even my resting face is a smile because this isn't painted on. This isn't fake as fuck. No, believe what I have to say because it's been tested. We went through the Frank Luntz thing and they said, oh, I like this person. I trust them. They speak in the right way. Look, they smile at the end. Oh, they're so fake, Blake. They're so fake, Blake.
I hear you. Let's keep. Well, that's why I think they're done. This is their last year. People are going to start tuning them out, and we've already have MSNBC cutting back salaries and might get bought out. CNN's going through a crisis, and we'll see. So here we'll continue to run this clip.
Intensely probing and detail-oriented and focused.
I can testify because I've been working very closely with this president for the past 2 years. I've been knowing him for 30 years. And I'm telling you, this guy's tough. He's smart. He's on his game.
Joe Biden has vision. He has knowledge. He has a strategic thinker.
The president is focused. He's detail-oriented. He's always thinking about the big picture.
He is engaging. He is capable. He has an incredible record as president.
And I'm often with him on foreign trips. He's at the top of his game.
So he has a vision. He has knowledge. He has judgment. He has a strategic thinking.
I met with the president, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and he seemed fine to me.
I have complete confidence in the president. I have watched him expertly guide meetings of staff and cabinet members. I could not have more confidence in the president.
I would just tell you that I meet frequently with the president, and every single time I meet with him, he is just fine.
But he is.
All right. I think we kind of get the idea.
It's pretty great, though. I mean, you could let it go if there's a couple more, because this is, you need to never forget, hashtag never forget what these people are, the lengths they will go to lie to you. And once you identify the main players, you must never trust them again. And when they trot them out the next time to get behind some bullshit, it should just trigger your red flag and go, oh, this propagandist, this lying motherfucker, this person will say the dumbest thing in the world and expect me to eat it up. I will only watch this for humor and to know what opinion I should oppose. They're good for that. So that's where it's important to know who the players are. Oh, quick comment, Blake. Brian Keith Cooper asking one more time, because I think Brian's unfamiliar with our show, kind of learning about us a little bit. Asking if there's any and by the way, this is where we get interesting commentary from viewers, as opposed to 2 weeks ago when we had a really weird interaction with somebody jumping in. But any comment on Doge and the reduction of the size of the federal government? We've talked about it before, but Blake, what would you respond to Brian Keith Cooper learning about our show for the first time today? What would you say about Doge? Because remember, he's in Lima, Peru. What would you say about Doge and the reduction of the size of the federal government?
I'm all for it. And I think we saw in Argentina with Milei that that's done a tremendous amount of good. Sounds like they're kind of out of their financial struggles. They're getting weighed down. They're paying too much taxpayer money into these programs and things that we probably don't even need. So yeah, they definitely need to cut back. I would like to see the federal government cut by 50%, maybe 75%. I mean, we don't need all of it. And so you have these useless bureaucrats that are just weighing down the payrolls, and they're not really doing anything for the American people. Or just in general, government doesn't, it serves a function, but then it gets bloated and then it becomes problematic. And so I think that's kind of where we're at here, is trying to clean up after the years of waste. So yeah,
I will second what Blake just said. And Kenneth is asking about Doge. Can I walk your Doge? Yeah, go walk your Doge. Okay.
Great question. Thank you.
Yes, and thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, hit like, and invite some of your smart friends to join us on this platform and the others. Were there a couple more here? Anderson and his sins Cooper. Yes, I'm not Anderson's Cooper.
Well, you tell me, Brian. You said you wanted to play some more of this, or do we move on?
Your call. Either way is fine.
Okay. Well, let's watch it for a couple.
Is, again, knowledgeable, wise.
Incredibly sharp, incredibly probing, incredible command of the details.
He is sharp. He is on top of things.
There is nothing to these challenges, these suggestions that somehow he's not sharp and he's not capable.
We see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issue.
And you're going to see how smart he is and the experience he has.
All right. Well, anyway, let's move on. I'm going to play. Of course, this is one of Elon Musk's favorite clips, and it's another one with Colbert and CNN.
Know the players, know the game. If Colbert's involved, here's your deep state trash. Open up wide and slurp it down, simps.
But to be fair, CNN used to be a highly respectable news outlet, and they just stuck the headline. Well, no, you thought they weren't good with Larry King or Donahue or Lou Dobbs. They had respectable journalists, and they did headline news. So they didn't have all the opinions.
When did it change? Do we know the year that it changed?
Yeah, probably during the Obama era is when everything changed.
Okay, yeah, Obama ruins everything he touches. Obama,
let's not get right.
Almost everything he touches. Yeah, Glenn Beck was on CNN too. Yeah, I even liked the Donnie Deutsch show on CNN back in the day, and then he turned unhinged. But I liked his business show on there. I don't care for any of his political opinions, but I like that show about success. And yeah, CNN, man, they've totally lost their way. But they're getting what they deserve.
Right. I mean, they used to be just headline news, and you could leave it on at the bar or anywhere or at the airport. That was fine because it was just sticking to the facts, and it wasn't interjecting all their crazy opinions. That's what it turned into during the Obama era, was all of a sudden social justice and all this woke ideology nonsense. So they've become a caricature of themselves, and they are a laughing stock, and they have an identity crisis. They'll have to change things around if they want to retain any of their viewership or any of their credibility. I think it's past the point. It's stained, but we'll see. But yes, and this is even they got mocked on late night, even from the audience. So here it is.
Love this clip.
And Colbert.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is.
And then everybody
Can you rewind that again? That was the honest reaction from a random sampling of people that got free tickets to go see this show. They couldn't hold it in. Go ahead. God, this is good.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is. No, I know. CNN makes a. I know.
Was that supposed to be a laugh line?
I wasn't supposed to be, but I guess it is.
Yes, it certainly is now. CNN is a laughingstock. Nobody takes it seriously anymore. Except people that want to live in their own bubble. But now you've been hoaxed so many times, you're just being used as a useful idiot if you continue to support their network.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah, that was such a good one. Between that and the Colbert has unironically appeared in 2 of the best videos of the modern era. Yeah, just both of those. Like he didn't want to be a part of either of these moments. And Colbert, for selling his soul, Colbert used to be hilarious. When he was doing the Colbert Report, man, that show was great. But I guess he was trying to do what Rob Reiner was trying to do, and he failed at with All in the Family. They tried to make Archie this dumb guy. Oh, look at this hick who votes Republican, and he's not like progressive like us. And it's like, yeah, Archie was rough around the edges, and he'd say some stuff that would make you cringe. But most of where he was coming from, and a lot of like the crowd sided with Archie. And as they worked through some of their racial issues of the 70s. What? Huh?
You got the crowd sided with Archie?
Oh my God. You think they didn't? You think they were laughing at Archie Bunker?
Well, it showed to me like how out of touch the conservatives were. And then that the liberals took it with Meathead. More of a common sense. But maybe it's been a long time since I saw that show. And then you had like Family Ties that also was kind of the liberal conservative ideology. I guess I took it in a different way back then.
But that's
perhaps I'm wrong. I don't remember.
Good question of the day. Do you think the audience sided more with Archie or against Archie? With Archie?
More with Meathead, Rob Reiner, who is now a flaming crazy.
Exactly.
Well, that was then. So I think then that's when liberals to me made more sense. Whereas I thought the conservatives were just raging hypocrites, warmongers, overly religious, wanted to tell everybody what to do. So I used to look at them much differently. And that the Democrats kind of were on the right side of history until Obama and all this woke ideological insanity.
Yeah, we'll pin that as like our question of the day. Please type in the comments. In the future as well, if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube or on Rumble, please hit like, hit subscribe for the New American Media. But yeah, not Meathead. It's more like Wokehead. Here's a question of the day. Did the All in the Family crowd side more with Archie or against Archie? So like the viewers. Yeah, I mean, Meathead definitely did his best to make Archie look dumb and to give him some undefendable positions and some comments that, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying 100%, but for the most part, were they siding with Meathead or Archie? That's a good question. So anyway, I love that Colbert is a part of this now. Like those 2 videos with Jon Stewart and what's her name? Caitlin Collins. Am I thinking of the right person? Is that who that is? Or no?
Yeah, it's Caitlin's. I think it's Collins.
Anyway, I don't care. Whenever she's on, I change the channel. Okay. Any more to add on this, or we can just bounce up with these last couple here?
No, I think we can move on.
All right. Let's talk about the H-1B visas. I keep screwing that up. I apologize. By the way, here's Wilford Brimley getting diabetes from a stack of sugary lies that the mainstream media has piled up like pancakes that could stretch from the earth to the moon. There's your moment of Zen. That would be our moment of Zen in the old days of back when Comedy Central Daily Show was watchable. Here's your moment of Zen. Thank you for all for watching. And now your moment of Zen. Here's Wilford Brimley getting the liabetes. Okay, let's get off of that and back to this. Blake, what's going on with these H-1B visas? This was the MAGA Civil War over the week since we had that Christmas time. Hope you had a great Christmas, by the way. During the past week, they battled it out. And what are we supposed to take away from the H-1B visas? And are they going to try to mandate a vaccine for the HB1 virus?
Yeah, I don't know about the vaccine, but it did cause a rift in MAGA world. Yeah, civil war, if you will. And yeah, I guess took place over Christmas. I was just kind of tuned out of it. Did pay a little of attention, and it was weird how kind of ugly it was getting. At least if people that are really hardliners and want to take sides on that one. I guess kind of in the middle. I don't really have a strong opinion either way, so I don't know what your take was from it, Brian.
I will give you my take in a second. Just to reference, Brian Keith Cooper was responding to what you said, Blake, and I know you can't see it on the screen here, so I'm just going to relay it. I won't malay it. I'll relay it. But he says to Blake, bravo on your thoughts on reducing the size of the federal government. Malay got the budget of Argentina balanced for the first time in 126 years, only requiring 1 year. It's conceivable that it can be done in the United States. Yes, agreed. Yet another reason to feel like we are on the verge of the age of prosperity, the golden era of the United States. We may never have another 4 years like this. We might be able to set so much right. It's like quantum leap to set right what once went wrong. We're doing a quantum leap forward for the nation. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I'll let you dig into it for a second. I'll tell you my thoughts on the visas, the H-1B visas.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of articles to cover. I'm not going to get into too much of it, but is Trump endorsing the H-1B visas, but I guess he didn't in 2016. He was kind of against it. He's changed his mind. Elon Musk has threatened war in their defense, and there's also rumblings of censorship. Although I think with Laura Loomer, she wasn't censored for disagreeing, as some kind of the narrative was put out there. It was because she had doxed somebody, and that's against the rules. So she was, after a few days, I think, finally admitted, oh, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to dox that person. So she did get in trouble. But there are people, I think, that were innocent that did get censored just because of it. So people are worried that, Elon is turned.
Yeah, I was thinking about this because Elon is very much like a hot chick. Another question of the day. In what ways is Elon Musk like a hot chick? They rarely get told no. They rarely hear the word no. And Elon has been riding a wave of public agreement. The things that he's putting out there, it's like, well, he's not really on the wrong side of almost anything. But maybe he is on this one. And will he be able to handle a rejection? And I think to the times when I've served as on board of directors, I've served as heads of committee chairs. You work with a group of people. You have 8 other people, 5 other people on the board of directors. You have to pick and choose your battles. You cannot win 100% of the fights 100% of the time. Abraham Lincoln said you can be everything to some people. You can be some things to every people. Some things to everyone, but you cannot be everything to everyone. And so I'm going to very closely watch how Elon responds to this. He might not be on the winning side of this. Is he going to throw a temper tantrum and kick people off? I'm curious to test it myself just because I want to know. I don't want to lose access to X, but I don't want to live in a world where X won't let me express my opinions on this shit either. If I got to grab the barbed wire and find out if it's electrocuted, I don't know. I'm half tempted to because it is what it is. A message just came in. I can't share it. It's on my personal text, but this one was from my dad, actually. And it's related to the new era coming in, the golden age, potentially, the Elon and Trump partnership that we're talking about. And it's a AI-generated billboard sign. And it just says, on January 20th, we're doing the hokey pokey. Going to put the right ones in and take the left ones out. Put the right ones in and take the left ones out. God, I'm excited for it. And that really kind of lines up with the comments we're getting from Lima, Peru. He has some hope. I have some hope. We have a little bit of hope. Let's try to think positive here on our thoughts forward. But yeah, Mike Johnson, we're going to talk about him in a second, but yeah, let's see how the H-1B debate plays out. I don't understand why we wouldn't just train Americans to do these jobs. Why are we going outside? And of course, Trump's hotels, they've always worked with people to come in and do seasonal work at these different luxury properties, the hotels, the vacation spots, the golf courses. Of course, the H-1Bs, I don't know if that was technically the terminology that was used for the visas that Trump used at his properties, but Elon and Vivek, they want the best of the best, but it's been exploited. Much like every other damn thing that sounds great, it's turned into a shit show. Oh, well, you should have birthright citizenship. Okay, here's birth tourism. Come on in from Saudi Arabia, crap out some kids, fly back to Saudi Arabia, and you're going to be a citizen for life. Have fun, enjoy our benefits. Like, that's a total abuse, a complete abuse, this birth tourism. So H-1B visas might be great if you're targeting the point, what do they say, the 0.1%, the 0.01%, the 0.1%, the 0.0001%. If there are geniuses like Elon, why wouldn't we want to bring them in and turn them into Americans, absorb them and assimilate them? But that's the difference between what the Democrats have done. They want 30 million people to come in, and they want enclaves. They want little Mogadishu in Columbus or in Springfield, Ohio. They want to turn enclaves. They don't want these people becoming American, learning English, participating in American culture. They want other cultures to come in and start changing the cities and states. So how many people do we need to recruit for tech versus why can't we just level up our game and create our own engineers? So these are American jobs. These are jobs that we need to be innovating with. Why aren't we training our people to do that? I'm here for the debate. I haven't picked a solid side on this, but I want more Americans having awesome kick-ass jobs. Well, it'll raise the price if you have to. What do you mean raise the price? You can't have slave labor. You can't offshoot all of these opportunities to people that aren't American. Why can't why can't Americans do this stuff? So I'm mixed on it, Blake. Maybe I'm in a similar boat to you. I'm hearing a lot of smart people having smart commentary talking about it. I don't know. I mean, I didn't hear you come up with a firm opinion on this yourself, but like my inclination is just no more. You got 30 million people that have to be deported that came in here illegally. The shit that Biden, Obama did for 4 years is illegal, unconstitutional. I'm sorry. I apologize to anyone that was invited here by those people because everything they did was backward and illegal. So while those people are being deported, you can't keep bringing people in. But is it for the best of the best for Project Paperclip, Operation Paperclip? Bringing the smartest people from Germany at the end of World War II to create the NASA space program of the 50s and 60s. Like, okay, if there's only 6 people on Earth that can do this, or 60 people, like maybe you bring in the best of the best of the best, the smartest of the smartest. But even then, I'm like, I don't know, why not just train us up to be that smart? So that's where I'm at, Blake.
Okay, well, it's a tough call. It seems like a lot of it is about saving money. So they can pay these guys a lot less than they would with their American workers. But, Elon and Vivek, they're Silicon Valley guy. They're both immigrants. They came in on H-1B visas, and that's cool. We should absolutely be trying to.
I think top 10. Vivek was born in Cincinnati, right?
Was he, or is he from Ohio? Okay.
Yeah, I think let me double check, but I think he was born in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I know he went to school in Ohio, or is it valedictorian or something, because he came under fire. But I'm not 100% on that. Or maybe his parents came over. But I thought he was. But I maybe read that somewhere incidentally. But it's big controversy. He's embroiled on it and taken some fire for it. And of course, it's good. We want to get high-skilled immigrants. We don't just want, leave the southern border open, and the next thing you know, we're being flooded with the, Venezuelan gangbangers or what have you. We have to be careful about who we're bringing in here, but we also have a lot of regular Americans that need jobs, need work, and we have qualified people here, and they should be making an effort. So, but they show some of the salaries that they can pay some of these H-1B. Most of the H-1B people, I do believe, come from India, and a lot of them are extreme into their academics. They are highly intelligent, and they're willing to work for a lot less, and that's fine. And we definitely want to help people. We got to help ourselves here in America. So it's trying to find that balance.
And by the way, my understanding here, based on what I looked at, Vivek Ganapathy Ramaswamy was born on August 9, 1985 in Cincinnati, Ohio, to Indian Hindu immigrant parents. So his parents were immigrants, and he was born in Cincinnati. So, I mean, is that the anchor baby conversation? The the birth tourism conversation, and there's going to be a big battle about American citizenship moving forward with the Supreme Court and trying to really determine sort of once and for all what determines citizenship. Because I had intimate knowledge of working in Beverly Hills at what goes on in the birthing centers in Los Angeles, and the medical tourism stuff was absolutely through the roof. We have no idea the abuses of what's going on and who gets to become a U.S. citizen and what that means. People that could come back 40 years after indoctrination and they could try to run for president and take our country into a place that just does not match the shared values of the people, the residents of this country. Brian Keith Cooper is laughing, saying that Elon being like a hot chick, that kind of cracked his ass up, saying he flipped quickly under pressure on this one. But like we say, he's picking his battles. Yeah, and that's just my concern. It seems to be he picks every battle on X. He doesn't get ratioed because he doesn't have a lot of bad opinions. But this one might not be the winning opinion. And we might need to just focus on getting Americans leveled up instead of bringing other people in. So, he said he'll go to battle. Like he just drew his line in the sand. He's like, I'm from South Africa and I will absolutely, all right, go. But you might not win, Elon. And you can take your ball and go home if you lose. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we've seen Elon get rejected in this way if he does. But then again, Trump seems to be in favor of it as well. So I guess it's trending that direction. Brian Keith continues, H-1B visas on a limited basis could actually be a good impetus for our education system to improve so that we're producing those who can fit the bill. All right, yeah, maybe it's a stopgap temporary. Instead of 0.1%, go to 0.01%. And in the meantime, you double down on the STEM courses from the best of the best to get them leveled up. Get these people out of these stupid public schools. And if they test off the charts, get them into advanced programs that you can do remote. You can do it from a laptop. Oh, we could never bus these people to the same school. You don't need to physically be in the same room. You're from Tupelo, Mississippi, and you're from Anchorage. Fine. Be in the same virtual studio for geniuses. And when you graduate, now come to Silicon Valley and make it awesome as an American. I mean, there's ways we can do a blend of both. But yeah, I'm super interested to see how it pans out. What did Trump have to say here?
Well, this is a statement from 2016 when he was against it. So he said the H-1B program is neither highly skilled nor immigration. These are temporary foreign workers imported from abroad for the explicit purpose of substituting for American workers at lower pay. He says he remains totally committed to eliminating rampant, widespread H-1B abuse and ending outrageous practices such as those that occurred at Disney in Florida when Americans were forced to train their foreign replacements. He says, I will forever end the use of H-1B as a cheap labor program and institute an absolute requirement to hire American workers first for every visa and immigration program, no exceptions. But now in 2024, well, I don't know. Maybe he's changed his tune and he's been close with Elon.
I do have a tip. It's supposed to be sharing a different screen here. Why won't it share? Because it says Trump today. Share this tab and doggone it. What's going on? Anyway, Blake, go ahead. Give me a second to pull this video up.
Okay, well, this kind of got off the rails a bit with Elon and Vivek, and people were taking it as though he was insulting the American workers. This publication is maybe a little bit over the line, perhaps. Elon saying Americans are not smart enough for tech jobs and censors critics. So he says Elon Musk, according to this writer, said spent Christmas shilling for mass immigration from India and denigrating Americans as too retarded. I don't know if he actually used that word or not, to work in tech, and then crying and censoring people for pushing back against him. And then on Christmas, Musk suggested America needs to double the number of high-skilled immigrants we bring in through H-1B visas. So he says there is a permanent shortage of excellent engineering talent, and it is the fundamental limiting factor in Silicon Valley. And so, but then there's people calling him out and saying, my son graduated with honors with electrical and computer engineering degrees in 2023, and he cannot even get an interview, let alone a job. says any white male he knew in college can't get jobs either. Many are currently working in data center jobs that don't require their education.
And that is the real situation America finds itself in after 12 of the last 16 years being divisive, anti-white, anti-male, anti-American, anti-Christian, anti-this, anti-that. Whatever Obama and his ilk were against, it's been a war against them. It's been an absolute war. And all of these things that are meant to make it harder for Americans to find jobs, it is all on the outs. Thankfully, I'm very excited for that. But this is Donald Trump in his words talking about this. Trump now on the H-1B. Here he goes.
Can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
Nope.
Why in the world can't you? There's no reason you shouldn't be able to. Okay, never mind. Go ahead, Blake. Take it. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, well, yeah, you can try to adjust it if you can, but I'm not sure. You can hear it, but I can't.
Oh,
all right.
Go ahead, Blake.
Anyway,
I got a problem with the Facebook streaming inside of both of these tabs, and it's not letting me link the right one. And so, anyway, go ahead.
All right. Well, Vivek, of course, jumped onto Musk's side there. He was attacking Americans as a bunch of mediocre dullards raised on 90s sitcoms who can't hold a candle to his brilliant fellow Indians, which is a little bit over the top, but that's this writer's opinion. So he says the reason top tech companies often hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers over the Native Americans isn't because of an innate American IQ deficit. And it says a key part of it comes down to the C word, which would be culture. So he makes the point that American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long. This is a culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers. He mentioned the culture of the 90s, which we went through, Brian. I didn't watch Boys Meets World, but I do remember Saved by the Bell or Family Matters. Or you watched, The Simpsons, which is kind of the dumbing down or kind of.
No, Simpsons is one of the smartest shows on TV.
Well, it is, but it also makes it look like the fathers are stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the smartest shows on TV. Everybody, all the writers, they were all. I know it's Ivy League, but yeah, I watched every show, Blake. If it was on TV, I didn't have cable, so if I could find it anywhere in syndication, I loved when Fox came out. It was like, oh, Married with Children, I can watch all this stuff and every sitcom. I watched everything I could get my hands on. I've been enthralled with that forever. But yeah, celebrating mediocrity and celebrating failure and just lowering expectations and standards is garbage. Let me try this again. I had to refresh because I got caught up in a glitch here. This is Trump today. Unless you were still continuing what Vivek was saying. Let me let you go with that. Did you have more on that?
That's pretty much it. So
okay, this was Trump.
Synopsis, but go ahead.
They shared this today, saying this is Trump today on H-1B. I'm not entirely certain this is accurate, but I think so. I don't think it's AI, but let's give it a listen.
It's so sad when we lose people from Harvard, MIT, from the greatest schools and lesser schools that are phenomenal schools also. And what I wanted to do, and I would have done this, but then we had to solve the COVID problem because that came in and, sort of dominated for a little while, as you perhaps know. But what I want to do and what I will do is you graduate from a college, I think you should get automatically as part of your diploma a green card to be able to stay in this country. And that includes junior colleges too. Anybody graduates from a college, you go in there for 2 years or 4 years. If you graduate or you get a doctorate degree from a college, you should be able to stay in this country.
You also need to assimilate. You have to get in with the American, like you got to take the test. You got to learn the language. There needs to be some sort of assimilation. And just because things happened 300 years ago, 200 years ago, 100 years ago on Ellis Island, that's no excuse to do it that way today. The people that are going to stay here, fine. Maybe they should have a fast track to citizenship. If they don't want to be here and start an enclave and start importing all of their people to build like an entire subculture inside of the American culture. I think there's a huge difference. I don't know if he's speaking broadly here, or if he means what I'm saying or not, but I think it's an important distinction to make. Just getting a graduate degree, I mean, it's the same thing as birth tourism. Just because you can fly here, now you're a resident, there need to be more steps.
And you know more stories than I do, but I know of stories where people graduated from a top college or from a college, and they desperately wanted to stay here. They had a plan for a company, a concept, and they can't. They go back to India, they go back to China, they do the same basic company in those places, and they become multi-billionaires employing thousands and thousands of people, and it could have been done here. And
I agree with that, Blake. It could have been done here, and you don't want the brain drain, is what they call it. Like maybe your local hometown, your smartest people go to the big cities and whatever, but they don't come back to like improve their hometown, and they've lost the brain drain. Whereas if they'd stayed there, they might make their own communities better. Same argument's been made at all these countries that go, oh, they're fleeing. Oh, they're refugees. It's like, why don't you stay and make your own country good? You're running away from the bad guys. Why is that our problem? Why don't you stay and fight the bad guys in your place? But when we're talking about people coming here for college degrees, like, this is also opening us up to how many foreign intelligence service assets to come here under the guise of this, that, or the other, from the Chinese regime, from Mossad, from pick any country, any organization, to implant and infiltrate our country and our schools with people to be double agents, people that could present themselves as one way, but they're working to actively take our country down. I don't know if that's being discussed enough.
Yeah, this is going to be an ongoing issue for a while until we can get everybody on the same page. But this is kind of how it's going to happen. So run into some stumbling blocks, and that's fine. I found this is an interesting. Well, I don't know if we want to finish that clip.
Yeah, I'll finish it, and then we'll go to yours.
Okay.
Brian is saying he 100% agrees. Level up our STEM graduates' abilities as well as our education level in general. And the U.S. had excellent education before the federal government got involved. Facts. So let's get the federal government out of our education system and watch everything improve. Here, Trump continues, finishes up.
Bigger example is you need a pool of people to work for your companies. You have great companies, and they have to be smart people. Not everybody can be less than smart. You need brilliant people. And we force the brilliant people, the people that graduate from college, the people that are number one in their class from the best colleges. You have to be able to recruit these people and keep the people. It was such a big deal. Somebody graduates at the top of the class. They can't even make a deal with the company because they don't think they're going to be able to stay in the country. That is going to end on day one.
That's fantastic.
So, I don't know. Is that fantastic? Maybe, sort of. America should... Ellis Island, give me your sick. Give me your something. Give me your traders. Give me your infiltrators. No, I'm good. Run this like a business. Give us the best of the best. Let's try to level up and create as much awesome stuff as we can. We don't need any more problems. You got problems upon problems upon problems. Keep them wherever you are. We've got our own damn problems, and we don't need any more. We need the best of the best for the biggest and best answers and solutions to all these problems, Blake. You had one you were going to bring up. Is that this one here? Was this Charlie?
Yeah, this is kind of a synopsis here of a tweet. He's saying Elon Musk thinks Americans are too, quote, retarded to do skilled jobs. Again, a little bit much. So Autism Capitals, I like this account. He says he basically summarized it, and Elon Musk approved it. I think he deleted this tweet, though. He said, so basically the right split into two factions. You got the tech right and the right. And the tech right is like, hey, we need H-1B visa people to do the jobs. But then the right was like, no, you need to hire Americans. And then the tech right is like, hey, but you guys are retarded. And the right is like, well, you don't train us. And the tech right is like, you can't out-train being retarded. And while all this was going on, we learned that some people really don't like Indians. And so, yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
You know, I'm here for the debate. I'm here for the robust exchange of ideas. Let's sift it through. Let's sort it out, man. Like, I think I've seen some decent points on a lot of sides. I've seen some trash points on both sides, some oversimplification, some misrepresentation. I'm open to whatever. I'm generally saying, as a meritocracy, that's how we have to move our country forward. No more of this bring in import extra problems. No thanks. We got our own. The best of the best, as long as we can filter out any subversive activity from intelligence agencies posing as they get their best of the best and shoot them over so that they can sabotage or steal from us, because that's going to happen. The more you just, oh yeah, day one, that changes. Easy, Trump. Have you really considered all of the foreign adversaries who are sending their best and brightest with long-term nefarious plans to take us out? There's a lot going on here. I'm open to the conversation and debate. So I don't know. American culture. Well, American culture has been driven into the trash by people like Obama. So, and when I say Obama, it's him and his advisors for 12 of the past 16 years. There's a general trend for the past 40 to take America down, to devalue our currency, to flood us with non-Americans, change our culture, erase our history, build it up in some Marxist grandiose image of whatever the hell they think they're doing. I'm not here for any of that stuff. Did you have another one here? Is that Cernovich chiming in?
Yeah, I guess they had a little back and forth. A lot of people
like Cerno.
What?
I like Cernovich. He has good ideas, good thoughts.
Well, yeah, he's a thoughtful guy. He says the Woodstock generation managed to build out aerospace, the one before we went to the moon. America was doing great. Underlying your post is that we were all living in squalor until being rescued by H-1Bs. And why did everyone want to come here? But Vivek is saying that version of America, that one used to embody unbridled exceptionalism, is exactly what we want to return to. That's a point about culture, not immigration policy. So
I think we get smarter having these debates with smart people. The dumbest thing you could do is put Joy Reid and Joy Behar and any of these other idiot liberal mouthpieces who are feeding you garbage lies to destroy you. I don't want to hear four people in a round table of morons yapping it up. I want to hear Vivek and Cernovich and Elon and Trump. I want some smart people discussing this issue, and let's extrapolate. Let's really parse it out. Let's slow down on this for a second and let's think it through. So I love this robust exchange of ideas. Oh my God, it's a civil war in the Republican Party. Yeah, they're allowed to talk. They're allowed to figure out what's the best path forward and listen to the smartest people. Tune out all the idiots. You're done. You're fired. The Obama doctrine's over. Go home, Biden, until we indict you. Preserve your paperwork. That's where I'm at. So yeah, I'm all about it. But Elon launching a Twitter purge, I don't know. Is that overblown, or is that something we need to worry about? Elon, like a hot chick, is rarely told no.
Right. So yeah, the free speech platform is great until there's not free speech, and because Elon Musk, and I don't know exactly what was all said, but this is alarming. If that there is a Twitter purge, or that he's banning critics of his push to expand immigration. So there's a lot of people, and I don't know what they said. They could have used hate speech. I don't exactly know. And here's your buddy Scott Adams, who's even saying something. But says MAGA is taking a page from the Democrats on how to lose elections while feeling good about themselves, because he's pointing out this tweet here from an Indian American who was born here, and it's crystal clear that the Democratic Party sees me as an American, but the Republican Party does not. I hope Indian Americans remember this moment at the next election. They don't see you as one of them. So,
do you think that's an oversimplification, or do you think that's a fair criticism?
Well, I do see a lot of these hardcore MAGA, Trump cultists who, will go along with, certain stances. And so they're looking at this as like anti-American to take in, immigrants, even if they are, skilled immigrants. So that's what we one of those things. We don't want anybody just popping into the southern border. We have to be selective. Well, we have to have some people. I think that's good that we're trying to get, strong people from across the planet that are in tougher situations where they can thrive here and help us. It's a win-win situation, depending on what these are used for. Or are they just trying to exploit cheap labor? It could be both. So you hate to see these people, like these 23-year-old college students that get advanced degrees, are in a shitload of debt, trying to get out of those degrees, and they're not able to get a job, and they're going to be overlooked for somebody from India just because it's more cost effective. So there's got to be a balance somewhere. I don't know, but I don't like to see people getting censored here either. So depending on what it's for, it's a lot of people.
And that's just a general warning once again. I like what Elon has done so far. I'm concerned about his, demonic New World Order cartoons and photo shoots and costumes and previous comments and AI and putting chips in the brains. And I got reasons for concern, self-driving cars and loss of autonomy. Like I got a million concerns with Elon. He's been great with X. I appreciate what he did by taking over that cesspool Twitter and giving us a place to talk, but I don't want to put all my eggs in that basket. Hell no. Thanks. I appreciate it. I signed up for the service. I don't sign up for anything. Blake knows that. Blake thinks I'm the cheapest human on earth. But I don't know. I conserve resources and then I use them. Conserve, and then bang, I'll do something big because I can, because I deprive myself 1,000 times and then I go for something once, and that's how I'm wired. But no, I don't normally sign up for anything, but I appreciate it. But honestly, it's mostly because Elon limited the function, so I couldn't use Grok and I couldn't use my analytics and I couldn't monetize unless I signed up as a subscription service. So I think it was more Elon doing it than Blake suggesting I do it. But either way, I did. So I do support X as one of the few places, but I need Telegram and Signal for TNAM and TNAM chat. Follow us there. I need Rumble, the New American Media. I need that. Patreon, the New American Media, all of that. We should always be concerned because look what Google did to YouTube. YouTube was awesome until Google fucked it up. Facebook was fantastic. There is no better app that exists. But man, the leadership there is trash with their censorship. Same with Instagram. Man, the usability, the functions, the shares, the groups, it's perfect, except it's run by idiots who hate me. So they censor me and don't let me monetize. So yeah, we should always be careful. We need more eggs. Don't put them all in one basket. I like X. I like Elon, but you're only as good as your next awful idea. I don't worship at the altar. I'm not a cult member of Trump. I'm not a cult member of Elon. I am with you when you make sense, and I am against you when you don't. That's the difference between a leftist and a anti-leftist, a MAGA person. We're for good ideas. We hate bad ideas. We love good ideas. So, yeah, I don't know. I think some of the Vivek says we're trash and we hate India. It's like, yes, I know the Ganges is full of shit. I know that it's gross living conditions, 1 billion people in like this much space, and we don't want to import that here. It's like, that's sort of super racist, and it's sort of super accurate that you want better living conditions and you don't want to import the third world, but you also need the best and brightest. But there's a lot of ideas going around. I think we all need to just calm down and like continue having the conversation and leveling it up there. So that's all I had on that. Blake, do you have anything else on that one?
Nope. Let's
quick hit on the OpenAI whistleblower suicide, because he, one of the best, the elite of the elite, working in OpenAI. Artificial intelligence is the future. If we're not getting that right, we're going to be behind the 8 ball in technology everywhere. And by the way, people like Elon are terrified of where AI is and where AI is going or could go. So we'd be smart to be aware of that. But that being said, this OpenAI whistleblower, I don't know, was it a suicide or a murder? This is an ongoing conversation, and they're similar to the United Healthcare CEO. Wasn't he in the middle of giving some testimony or about to give some testimony or reportedly about to give some testimony? And this guy who died under, normal suicide conditions, the conditions turn out to be not so normal. What do we make of this?
So far, it seems to be what it looks like. I would think anytime a whistleblower commits a suspicious suicide, it should probably be treated as a potential homicide automatically. But, some powerful people take you out because you're threatening their way of life. Then, sometimes they can get away with these things. But we got the Daily Mail recently said there's disturbing evidence that suggests that the OpenAI whistleblower did not kill himself. So the parents of this whistleblower say that there was blood in their son's bathroom when he was found dead of an apparent suicide. This name, I don't know how to pronounce this. Suchir Balaji, 26, was found dead in his San Francisco home last month, November 26th, 3 months after he accused his former employer, OpenAI, of violating copyright laws. Development of ChatGPT. So sounds innocent enough, but when you're going against very, very powerful people, and things have a way of coming back on you in awful ways, unfortunately. Police said they found no evidence of foul play at the scene and ruled the death a suicide, but the parents have continued to question the circumstances of their son's death. There was nobody else on the scene, and that doesn't mean that police can just come to that conclusion. And they've seen blood shots in the bathroom, signs of a fight, signs of a struggle. So Balaji's father said he was the last person to talk to him on his birthday week, and his son seemed happy, not depressed or anything, and that he had made plans to see us in January. So I'm guessing he's one of these H-1B immigrants. There he is, found dead not shortly after, speaking out. I guess he felt that AI is a harm to humanity. The young genius had joined OpenAI, believing in its potential to benefit society. That maybe this advanced AI could cure disease or do other things that would benefit humanity. But
I guess one of the major situations AI is facing, and I have multiple thoughts on this one as well, much like the H-1B visas.
Right. And
the issue is that they're saying AI is taking copyrighted material and passing it off as their own, and that they should be blocked from doing that. I'm like, well, what's the difference between reading a book in school and then having ideas and then making your analysis based on the things you've read? It's like, oh, you're not allowed to read the New York Times. Same shit I complain about with YouTube. Oh my God, there was music playing in the background. We have to ban this video from all countries. Like, this is the stupidest shit. This is such a perversion of what the internet's supposed to be. If I'm running an independent music channel and I'm playing your music video and I have sponsors that are paying me to do that and I'm making money off of your content, I shouldn't be able to do that. Like, it's the same. AI can't make money off of the content of our website, but they're looking at our website to get the information that they use to answer the questions that people ask them on Grok. It's like, and they're using things out there, they're looking at it, and then they're compiling it together and coming up with a perspective. So what? If they would want to put annotations into the bibliography, when you ask Grok, what did you ask Grok about the fog? Okay, well, I'm not saying they shouldn't be allowed to go to the New York Times or go to any of these websites and read articles about it, but maybe there's a compromise where you have to put in there at the bottom, here's 10 websites we kind of scanned to kind of come up with a general consensus. So if you want to do more, go support those people. I don't know what this big thing about OpenAI and they kill this guy or else it's going to get out. What's going to get out? They're in the middle of lawsuits. They're being sued. They're saying we have copyrighted material. You can't do it without paying us. Like, pay you what? We're allowed to read books. You don't own our thoughts. It's like, I see different perspectives. I don't see how killing this guy advances stopping the lawsuit. I guess that's a long way to say I'm not quite seeing it yet. But the details of this guy's death don't sound like a suicide either.
Right. So the family's hiring a private investigator. It's clearly he had some goods and documents that OpenAI didn't want being disclosed to the public. So he's a whistleblower. They should be protected. And if they die suspiciously, then they should really put the scrutiny on whoever he was going up against. We had, two Boeing whistleblowers that died recently. So, yeah.
Boeing just had a major catastrophe. What was that, in Korea? They lost everybody but 2 flight crew members or something. It was awful. Ugh. Yeah, Boeing. Oh, man, there's problems with so many companies right now. But yeah, this is a developing story up there. What, San Francisco? We got to keep our eyes on it. I mean, would they kill one guy to protect the future of AI when the future is AI? I mean, yeah, of course they would, whoever they are. but I don't know. There needs to be. We got to figure out what really happened here. And I guess the autopsy was shown multiple injurious circumstances, and the family was pressured to do to burn the body and do that all really quick without having a chance to examine. Like, look, let's lift every rock and see what's going on. Is there foul play at play? Of course, they'd try to cover it up if this was a hit. I don't know, but AI is the way forward. AI is worth being scared of. AI is worth celebrating the hilarity of the liabetus with Wilfred Brimley and the moon. But yeah, this is a challenging story. Once again, this is Silicon Valley, the best of the best, the brightest of the brightest, the H-1B. There's a lot of overlap in these stories. But other than that, I think the only thing we were going to touch on is Speaker Mike Johnson, and we'll wrap up today's program of the Agree to Disagree show. Blake, I don't know. We don't love Mike Johnson, but now Trump is backing him. So, I mean, like, he's useful. He's on the right team. They're going to make it work, or, you see Marco Rubio get nominated and you go, all right, well, this is step one. Is this step one of a 2 or 3 part plan? You start this place and you move along, or, is Johnson someone we can work with? So what say you?
I'm not a big fan. I respect Trump. I don't hate Johnson. I'm sure he's a nice enough guy. Might be compromised. I like Thomas Massey, who's been very vocal against it, that he's basically thinks that he's going to be the next Paul Ryan. Here's Thomas Massey. Here's a quote here. I will vote for someone other than Mike Johnson. I'm not persuaded by the so-called hurry up and elect him so we can certify the election on J6 argument. It's a weak legislative branch beholden to the swamp and will not be able to achieve the mandate voters gave Trump in Congress in November. Yeah, he's been very vocal. They said they elected Paul Ryan by every Republican except for me. And then Ryan went on to offer a fake repeal of Obamacare, increased spending, back to deep state, and didn't fund a wall. And 2 years later, they lost the majority, and Democrats made a living hell for Trump. So I think that speaks volumes. You don't want to get this guy in there if he's going to ultimately be weak and ineffective and do more harm than good. You need somebody with a spine and somebody who's going to, maybe shake things up a bit.
And that pseudo omnibus bill, that continuing resolution, that thing from a week ago, whatever. I mean, that was Mike Johnson and Mitch McConnell and a couple other dirtbags in a smoky room coming up with some garbage. I mean, we're supposed to just give him a pass on that because that was the old regime. I don't know, maybe. Okay. But God, that's a fail. Like, that's what he did. That's what he allowed to bring us before that was shut down. That doesn't make me very confident, Blake. But we'll see. Trump has every right to pick whoever he thinks is the best choice here. I don't want to see any Congress. I don't want to see anybody getting in the way of these people that are selected. He has the right to pick and choose. And I just hope it's not as bad as we all think Mike Johnson can be, will continue to be. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. That's the team we find ourselves with, Blake. Okay. Parting shots, good sir. You are any special plans for this evening? You are freed. No toxically masculine Tuesday.
Oh my God! After the marathon, right? Free. No, I'm not really doing much today, Brian. I'm
taking it easy.
Stay-at-home stoner. What are you doing?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but nothing like you and I used to do. God, for how many years did we have to work on New Year's Eve? It wasn't even a thought like, oh, let's go do something fun. It was like for 20 years, all I did was bartend. It's like there wasn't fun. Oh, it's New Year's Eve. Of course I'm working New Year's Eve. I'm going to bartend New Year's Eve. Did you have to bartend a lot of New Year's Eves or maybe not?
It depends. Yes, I worked most of them, but there are some times where I had a scheduled shift. And if, I always had my Tuesdays and Wednesdays off or whatever days. And if New Year's fell on that day, then I was off. So nothing I could do. So just it all depended, and what day of the week it was and all that. Not that it mattered a whole lot in Vegas. So yes, a lot of memories of working. I've had some really good nights, and it was always stressful. Always them shutting down the strip and leaving really early, and getting around the traffic and stuff like that. And of course, the times of just getting to go out and have fun, or go downtown Vegas and do stuff. But I don't think I could handle that stuff. I wouldn't want to do it, even though Nashville's a great place for it. So
yeah, man. Maybe one of the best places in the world to do it right now, Nashville, for that stuff.
Yeah, I think Nashville's taken over for New York.
And I had some great opportunities doing catering stuff in Los Angeles, behind the scenes, working like the VIP parties, getting handed really nice tips from people you recognize from movies and television and whatnot. Yeah, good times indeed. Want to thank everybody watching today. Kenneth, as always, and Frankie as well. Brian Keith Cooper, this was awesome. He says, I've enjoyed our live chat today. Thanks for taking my questions and comments. You got some good sound logic in examining current events. Like I said, I look forward to seeing more of your content. Happy New Year. Be smart, be safe, and be righteous. Yeah. So thank you so much. It's part of the TNAM community, and we appreciate you joining us. So, Blake, we will let you go. The places you need to follow Blake are on X at TV's Blake Walley. You find him on his homepage, thenextlevelnews.com. And if you want to support Blake Walley for his independent journalism stuff, he is, where'd that go? Isn't it? Oh, yeah, there you go. It's in blue. He's on Venmo at Blake-Walley, BLAKE-WALLEY, or on Cash App at $BlakeW99. Blake, Happy New Year to you, sir. We'll talk real soon.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, man. It's been a hell of a 2024, and I'm looking forward to 2025. We did it, man. Like we had a universe to save, and we stopped one bad thing from happening. Now it's like, can we capitalize and make 100 good things happen? Let's see if we can make a few good things happen. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So send regards to your dad and everybody else, Blake. You have a wonderful New Year's Eve, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, you too, Brian. Thanks, everybody.
There we go. TV's Blake Walley. There he goes. Make sure you're following the New American Media on Rumble at the New American Media. On TNAM's The Agree to Disagree Show on Facebook. The Agree to Disagree Show on podcast on Spotify. At American_media_ on X. On YouTube, we're at The New American Media. We're TNAM's The Agree to Disagree Show on Facebook. We have our countervailing views running at the bottom of the screen. If you would like to contribute to the New American Media to support our independent journalism endeavors, and look, we get a little from random donations. We get a little from Venmo, a little from PayPal, a little from here, there, Patreon, Rumble. People contribute all sorts of ways. Every bit of it is super appreciated. And if you ever want me to split that other places, such as the hurricane relief efforts, we'll shout out Grizzly. If anybody wants to donate to Grizzly, they're still rebuilding in North Carolina. The Amish have been fantastic down there, by the way. He's on Cash App at $Fabled Remedies, the number 1. Fabled Remedies, REMEDIES 1. But that's kind of a donation place that we have taken on. We've pseudo-adopted them. But if you want to contribute to the New American Media, we are on Patreon at The New American Media. On Venmo at Brian Engelman, BRIANENGELMAN. And on PayPal at Fuzz Installment. I got to add Cash App because I think we have a Cash App now. I think that's at Brian Engelman. Don't use Cash App. Got to figure that out and get it linked somewhere. So if you want to contribute, thank you so much. But yes, everybody, it's been a crazy 2024. Yeah, give you a 2020 high five. A 2020 high five. 2025. Looking forward to it. We appreciate you. We love you. We'll talk to you again soon.